clean, interesting, exciting football.
Well, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. And you look at some of the schools that we have out here, teams like Laverne, teams like Stetson. These aren't colleges that are going to get by on having superior athletes. These are teams that are going to get by playing team ball and playing smart football. So you're going to be, on one hand, as you said, you want to be explosive. You want to show that you have individual talent, but you also really want to show that you're a team player. And as we get ready for kickoff, we'll see the first instance of team playership, which is can you hustle on special teams? A lot of these guys, once they get off to college, that's where they're going to play for a year. So that's what a lot of coaches are looking at, how fast you run down the field on this kickoff and just your overall effort.
Certainly, certainly, and I'm excited to see it myself. There's always talent here that I never haven't necessarily seen, so I'm happy to have the opportunity.
And as we get ready for kickoff, we've got Anthony Gilpin Jr. back to receive, but it's taken over to the right side, up the sideline, and finally out of bounds at the 25. That was Christian Salacup from Christian, who
Red
had
Salad Cup.
very good season this year out at Christian.
Certainly. I've been a Salad Cup fan for a while. I'm sad I don't get to see them as Christian as I used to. So it's neat to be able to have the chance to see them as well as a lot of other different schools. Blue team out on offense. What do we got here, Chase? Who's you interested in?
Out on offense today for the Blue Stars, I'm interested to see Anthony Gilpin. I got to see him play Ramona in the first week of the season, and he's shown defensively in that one. But on offense, he certainly has the athletic ability to make an explosive play at any time.
Certainly, I could certainly agree with that. I'm looking out on the defense here and trying to see who they've got set up. If you look at, looks to be, trying to see who that is on the near side. It's hard to tell.
Well, back in the shotgun, we have Nathan Temple, Santana quarterback, and next to him we have Nate Stein, the running back from Christian. One of the
well, that'll help.
Absolutely, absolutely. Stein motions out, and speak of the devil, we got a 5-yard pickup by Nate Stein. He had a very impressive season too.
It's a smart job by the Blue Stars coaching staff. Connect the players that you have together and make them work together. A lot of the times the hard thing to do in these 2 weeks is to build camaraderie, and that's exactly what you're seeing right now. The best way to build camaraderie, take the teammates that know each other and have them work to get to know other clumps of teammates. You're already seeing it here. They're already on the ball within 15 seconds.
And the handoff to Stein once again. Pickup of about 1, maybe 2 yards there. And
what's
impressive about Nate Stein is just the amount of touchdowns he scored. This year he had 839 rushing yards, but 17 touchdowns on the season.
It doesn't get any better than that, does it? If you take a look here on the right side of the Blue Stars line, we're talking to Angel Lemus out of Montgomery. Just a big load, and he's going to really help this offense if they're trying to stay protected.
Absolutely. I don't see how you can get around the end. Oh, and Temple taking off, and he looks to have picked up the first down. Nathan Temple getting it done with his feet. He had 6 rushing touchdowns this season, actually.
And Temple doesn't actually get enough credit for what he could actually do with his legs. I was thinking about that earlier. We talk about Nathan Temple's career. You see so much of it throwing the ball. Remember when we were together at the CIF Championship, most impressive play he made, though, was stepping up in the pocket, showing a little bit of mobility, and then he makes that throw for the Hail Mary that ended up not counting. But you just see there that he can do a lot of different things with the ball that maybe other people think that he could do.
Absolutely. Great pocket presence and pocket precision that he has out there. And he's just really fun to watch overall. Before the season started, he promised East County Sports, Ramon Scott, that he would score 50 touchdowns. He came close. He had 40 all-purpose touchdowns this season.
It's always good to have dreams. That's what I say. It's always great to have dreams.
Jordan Wilkins around the left side, picking up 2 yards. We got Laundry on the field, though, and we'll see what that penalty is.
This is a guy just coming off of a state championship attempt here, and he's still out here playing ball. There were a lot of guys for El Camino who didn't get to play in the Spanos game because they, had this thing they had to do.
Yeah.
So we get to see him back out there again.
Absolutely, and I mean he doesn't get enough credit for what he did. When you think of El Camino, you think of that quarterback Reed, but you don't really think about Jordan Wilkins all that much. However, he had a pretty big season himself, and in his junior year, he had 54 receptions. So he's been a big player for them for 2 years.
So what you're saying is that he's good.
I'm saying that he's good. He's pretty good at football, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think going back to Nathan Temple, one of the best things that he does is lead this team as we have another break in the action. And that penalty ended up being on the defense as we have moved across the 50, and the Blue Stars are looking together like they're putting a pretty good drive together here.
Certainly. I like the style. I really do.
Absolutely. And this
Except
team.
we're heading backwards.
Oh, we're going back again. Well, when you talk about their style, this team coached by the Mission Bay coaching staff, headed up by A.J. Vines. Assistant coach is Keith Harris, quarterback coach over at Mission Bay, and Greg Tate, who was the defensive coordinator over there. And they put together a very good season after the unfortunate passing of their head coach.
And I was going to jump right back on there. It's impressive to see this mission-based staff. You have something like that happen to your kids. Let's talk about the fact that that happens to a team. You have, a bunch of young kids. You're not obviously you're only 1 year removed from playing football. Now that I'm trying to say this in the right tone. Imagine you playing at Helix and then you have an adult that's been a part of your life for all those years, and he goes away. There has to be some hurt, some pain on that team. You could easily lose yourself in those first month of trying to play ball. But this Mission Bay team instead got stronger, worked together, worked with that assistance and all that staff, and then we're able to actually make it with some depth in the playoffs. It's a pretty incredible thing.
Well, one of the most touching moments of the year was the San Ysidro team honoring that coach before the game.
Certainly.
And it was just such a tragic moment, turning into it could have been so much more tragic than it was, but these kids really took it and sort of used it to fuel their season, which was, I thought, very courageous of them.
Certainly, I wanted to say right there, team, talk about Santana, but on the other side, Luke Simonek, great play there, really trying to close out a lane. They're on first down, and now we're going to see what happens on second, and extremely long.
Very long. But, I mean, hey, if there's any quarterback that can make this yardage, that's Nathan Temple.
Pretty well quick, especially when you got guys like Rashad Griffin on the outside. Or, excuse me, I'm sorry, we'll got the other one. Mr. Gilbert on the other side. Got my ones mixed up.
And we're going to Nate Stein on the swing.
Nice
and
little swing pass on the outside.
Thought maybe he could break down and get past that defender, but
he certainly could not. DeAndre Patterson, very underrated for Lincoln, went out there and made that stop. Lincoln had a lot of great guys on defense that didn't necessarily get the credit that they deserved, and DeAndre is one of them, and he's making it well known here. DeAndre is the kind of guy that I think with a good game today could actually get it offered to a really nice place to go hang out for the next couple of years.
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, he was one half of the better linebacker duos in the county, and obviously the other half of that duo almost a little bit overshadowing him. You have Marquise Allen Patman, who just committed to Nevada. And if you ask me, DeAndre deserves a spot at a similar place.
We're to the outside trying to escape one, but almost two more couldn't get there. A nice little stop there, a nice hit by, a guy I like who's actually on our PPR top 30 honorable mentions, Sagali of Tri-City Christian. I would have loved, I sometimes hate saying things like this. I would have been interested to see what he would have done at a different North County school this year. I wonder if we would have seen a little bit more of him, would have gotten some more tape. But I really like his abilities down there on the line, and you can see exactly why here is. It looks like as if we're setting up for a punt on fourth down.
Back to punt is Michael Fonseca, an O-line / punter at Mission Bay this year. And back to return for the Red Stars is Ron Van, a great story coming out of Bonita Vista, who over the past seasons hasn't been extremely successful, we could say pretty accurately. But
I've loved Ron.
Ron Van was so impressive this season.
Yes. He was up for Play of the Week twice, actually, on PPR.
Oh, he was.
That's just how good he is.
He's very good. He had 28 receptions, 618 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He actually has offers from Lake Erie, and he has interest from South Dakota and Azusa Pacific. So.
What was that first school there, Chase? Say that again.
Lake Erie.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I like their logo. You got the tornado?
Yes. Lake Erie's been doing a lot of work trying to get guys out of here the last couple seasons. And we'll see what they can really do and get that connected in.
And I think it speaks to the abilities of Montel
Good
Allen.
Good pass protection by Troy as he goes there. And that pass is nicely broken up by Masato Thompson.
Masato Thompson, a very underrated DB out of San Pasquale. One of the reasons that they went 9-2 this season.
And one thing's interesting about San Pasquale, too, is they got a lot of guys in this game. And I was actually sitting down and talking to a couple members of the San Pasquale coaching staff earlier who have been so supportive of all their San Pasquale players during postseason bowl time. They know they've got quality players. They just have guys who need, again, that second chance and that second look.
And now we've got, the quarterback.
Very nice job by James Duncan out of Classical Academy, a guy who's 6'4", and one of these great examples of a guy who hasn't gotten enough attention. Classical Academy has gotten themselves to the map the last couple of years. Had Diego Preciado last year, who ended up winning our Admirals Award for all the work that he's done. Worked a lot with Rock Academy, worked a lot with Toys for Joy. And you can see here, when you get a guy like James Duncan, who comes up next, you can see some of the things he's able to do. And another guy I like who's getting the ball right now is Troy Williams, even though he's stuffed here at the 50-yard line. Troy on an offense for Scripps Ranch that was so much about throwing the football, and getting the balls in the hands of guys like Makai Shaw and Rashad. Troy Williams can really work, and then being a backup running back and having Nick Gardner ahead of him, Troy didn't get the snaps he necessarily could have had. And now we see more Scripps here as they go around on the jet sweep to Rashad, but shut down pretty quickly.
And on Troy Williams, he actually he did everything that he did this season on only 42 carries, which was 212 yards and 3 touchdowns, mostly because Nick Gardner was so prolific.
Certainly, and it's interesting when you think about the fact that Gardner has another year left, but played like a senior. That's a guy who's going to make a lot of noise coming up here. I like what this Red Stars offense is doing here. I love these setups, especially going out with 4 wide right now. And great pass protection by Troy, who can really do that. And a big catch by Rashad Griffin going down to the 23-yard line. You can see that explosiveness. He's a guy who really thinks that he should have at least group of 5 offers, or group of 5 opportunity. Doesn't necessarily have that yet. And you can see the work being put in right now to make sure that something like that happens as they're running that no-huddle to perfection, Chase.
That no-huddle is just so it's a killer to these all-star defenses who really don't know what they're doing all the time. So you can get those little 6-yard run pickups right there just off of an outside zone when the other team just isn't set up. They're not prepared for what you're about to bring.
And all-star defenses, the other tough part about them is they're very much boxed in, so they don't have the opportunities to do certain things that you would like to see.
Well, in this game specifically, they're not allowed to blitz for the entire first half, so that's going to be a
Griffin
problem.
Down here at the 15 and just straight wrangled down. A beautiful wrangle by Salik up there.
And Christian Salicup going both ways. He can play, well, all 3 ways, actually.
Yeah.
Special teams, offense, defense. He's truly a renaissance man of football.
Certainly, and they actually just made an interesting sub now. They got rid of a couple linemen here. Looks like they're trying to go a little more fleet of foot as the red team is surrounding the red zone. Red team in the red zone.
And I'm interested in Ron Van on that corner.
Big throw, and it's not going anywhere. Nice try by Duncan to get it out.
Well, and you can see in the backfield, 5 Blue Stars come to their feet at the same time. They were all in heavy pursuit. Duncan knew he had to get that ball out of there fast.
Danger, danger, danger. An interesting third down situation here with Troy. You can try to run a draw, try and run some sort of fancy screen, but they've also been very effective getting the ball to Rashad here twice on this drive.
Well, and you see DeAndre Patterson out there on the field for the Red Stars, and he's traditionally either a running back or a linebacker. Doesn't look to be lining up in either of those positions.
No, looks to be as if they're
he might be on the line.
No, they're going to kick it. We'll see. I don't know if there are rules against faking it.
You think that there might be, but you never know.
No. Here comes Jorge Aguilar with the kick. Looks nice.
And it
is nice.
He has a very underrated leg. He comes from a school, Lincoln, that you don't think about kicking very much. A lot of times they're going for it on 4th down. They're going for 2, one of those schools. But I was watching him punt in warm-ups, and, does he deliver hang time.
You know, it's funny when you talk about Lincoln kicking. I remember one year where Lincoln literally had their kicker, and they said, well, where's your kicker? Don't you guys have one? And they said, well, we do, but right now he's playing professionally in Mexico in soccer, so we have to wait for him to come back. I said, okay. Well, we'll catch up with you later then. But the Red Stars are back on the board. They get the first points of the ball game. It is 3-0 here. While we're standing here, we want to thank, I believe we have 49 of you so far that are watching this broadcast. We want to thank you for having Chase and I just murmur into the microphone while you try to enjoy football. We appreciate that. We want to say great things about all the folks at San Diego Friday Night Lights. A great job by Montel Allen. A great job by Ruben Pena. A great job by the rest of the folks that helped put that together, from photography to building, and the work that they've done over these past almost a decade now, helping getting kids into schools, helping strengthen San Diego football. You know, Chase, for you and I who work on the Prep Pigskin Report, a lot of people say, wow, you guys, take care of all the business. But what I've always said is it's a circle of life. Without the work that folks like these folks do at the base, the rest of what we do at the PPR can't be accomplished.
Oh, absolutely. And I've had a lot of people come up to me and say like things like, "Oh, it's so amazing what the PPR does for these kids." And to an extent, that's true. But what goes under the radar a lot of times for the casual high school football observer, the one that's not on the Twitter and on all of this Instagram and everything, is they don't realize how much people like SDFNL, Top Dog, all these people who have very heavy college contacts and are getting these kids who otherwise may not be able to make it to college, these offers to D2 places, to FCS schools. So it's certainly a noble thing that they do, as we see
It's
Nathan
the circle
Temple
of
and Nate
life,
Stein.
and it moves us all. I'm sorry.
Now we're gonna get back into the action before Brandon busts into Circle of Life from Lion King, and we've got
Ooh,
a
nice
a
swing
trick
around.
play,
Big
a trick
trick.
play.
Open
Oh!
and just misses Wilkins.
Oh, and that reminds me of the Holiday Bowl last night, where Iowa narrowly missed the trick play.
Interesting about missing, USC, I think they missed the entire game.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Well, they're certainly missing a competent head coach, as they've just extended Clay Helton, but
no comment. Allison Edmonds was at the game last night, and she made it very clear to Clay. She said, "Why did you not play our kids?" She said it straight up, and he
Keenan.
gave a very lame answer. But he tried. Clay, I'm still aggrieved, Chase. I'm still aggrieved.
Keenan Christian had 2 receptions for 27 yards. The other running backs weren't doing anything. I don't know. But we digress. Let's get back into the game here. Oh,
Big
going
throw
across the
that.
middle.
Oh, nice hit, but an even better catch by Anthony Gilpin.
And the
Gets down to the 40.
evasion. That's more than a 15-yard pickup. That's the explosiveness of Anthony Gilpin Jr.
And the fun thing about Anthony Gilpin, he was up for our PPR two-way player of the year, and that's exactly why. Had a really strong August and September campaign for an Olympian team that a lot of people were down on. And you see how Anthony is a game changer for them. Go ahead. I like how they have split out wide. Randy Smith. It'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Randy Smith really under the radar. He was catching passes from Nathan Temple, so
On the
we'll see.
outside,
Oh, as he goes
big
out to
throw
Gilpin again.
Gilpin, one-handed, and not enough.
And he makes those plays. You'll see him
Certainly
make
does.
that's about a 50-50 ball right there.
And it was great coverage by Grayson Noel of Mission Hills, by the way. He had to go with the one hand because there really was no room for error because Grayson had some great
Had to
coverage.
fit it in a tight window, absolutely.
Certainly.
And one of the interesting things about these all-star games that I always see is it's always on either the Mira Mesa field or the Kearney field, which is always fun because that's a great central location for San Diego because it's about equidistant from South Bay and North County if you think about it.
Just getting a chance to look now on that little play that they ran. They tried to run that trick play. It was a nice move, moving the tight end back around. Usually don't see a tight end toss out for an attempt there.
And there goes Stein up the middle. He's taking it to the outside. If he can
Great
break
move
one.
on the left, has to get around 31.
The
the hit doesn't work. That's why you got to wrap up, and that's exactly why this game exists, folks. That's exactly why this game exists.
And Nate Stein is pumped up. He knows that he just increased his stock.
And deservedly so. Deservedly so.
Bouncing off that tackler at the end there. I thought for sure the play was over, but he just...
And the Stein family's good. His brother was a really great lineman for Christian as well, and you can see that toughness there that's instilled when you have a running back. You're like, oh, well, okay, one hits and one dances around, but no. Not the situation with Nate.
Oh, and we have a player banged up, holding his shoulder.
Oh, can't see there.
For the Red Stars. I believe that is Malachi Beatty from Crawford, a defensive back. And you hate to see that in the game like this.
You hate to see it.
But I mean, that's football, and hopefully he's okay. We'd love to see him back. He was one of the 2 more explosive players for Crawford, I'd say, this season. Him and the freshman Hamada Sharif.
That's what I was going to say. I'm very interested in where Sharif goes. 4:36 and change to go here in the first quarter. 3-0 belonging to the Red after a score on their first drive. This is the second drive for the blue team. Didn't get anywhere the first time, but definitely getting somewhere as they've crossed the divide for the first time.
And he's looking outside. He's going deep. I believe that's Ron Van.
And I believe that's one heck of a catch.
That's Jordan Wilkins.
Beautiful job by Mr. Wilkins, getting both his hands up, putting his hair up, and squaring up, as I like to say.
And he's flexing because that was a strong hand grab.
It certainly was.
And that's the over the shoulder. A lot of people take that catch for granted, but you have to track that over your right shoulder. That's a great catch. And this blue team, the offense is really clicking now.
Decisions now. Do you go back to Stein or do you try to find a way? Interesting decision now. They got two wide receivers there on the full side. We're going to see where they go.
Gilpin and Smith on the outside.
Temple looking to his left, gets swung around again, and absolutely smothered on the play.
Josiah Segale once again.
The Tri-City Christian monster back on the line for his second sack, I believe, of the day.
And what's crazy is, like you said earlier, nothing disparaging to Tri-City Christian, but if he were at a Oceanside or an El Camino.
And I'm sure they tried.
Oh, they for sure. And I mean, you've got to think, if he was on one of those teams, what does Oceanside do this season? Because they've already got the big boys, but he would add so much to his team.
Coach Hastings over at Point Loma, when we talk, he wants we want people that are loyal to the soil, and that's what I like about Josiah. He as Kendrick Lamar once said, loyalty, and loyalty.
And we're going back to Stein. He's bouncing it to the outside, wrapped up.
Not so much for him at all. Artie Morales of Escondido there to make the stop.
And Artie Morales took on Santana. That was where they fell on Santana's soil in CIF. But that game was just, it was one of those games where, yes, Santana put up 40, but they had to work for all 40 of their points. Absolutely. Artie Morales was in the backfield more than anybody I've ever seen against Santana this season. So now we've got a long third down after 2 straight losses.
With 2:45 to go here in the first quarter.
And you've got to think that they're going to be going deep to Wilkins or Gilpin again. Maybe Smith on the outside, but you got to think you're going to one of your most dynamic athletes as they motion Stein out wide.
I really like the Smith matchup, and I think Temple does too. He's looking at it.
He's looking. Oh, he's going for Gilpin.
Short down. Nobody gets that ball on that one. It's 4th down.
And that's broken up by Matt Malone, the running back, defensive back out of Escondido, another piece of that Escondido team that gave Nathan Temple fits. He overcame them, but certainly not the easiest game he's ever had.
Not easy at all.
And you got to think maybe they're remembering that right now. Maybe that's why they're going so hard.
They'd be smart too.
Oh, and check this out. 4th and about 20, and they're sending the offense back out there. So as we get prepared for this 4th down conversion, you've got to think right now, AJ Vines, he's got to be pretty confident in his quarterback if he's sending him out here on 4th and 20. And if there's, once again, any quarterback to get it done.
And what an interesting formation. They're bunching everybody to the right, which makes you wonder if it's a swing left back out to Gilpin in some way. Let's see what happens.
And
protection
Temple,
getting closed
Temple's
in
going
inside
down.
And swung down. That's how it's done on 4th down.
Alonzo Morgan out of Lincoln, one of those underrated Lincoln defensive pieces.
We were talking about that before, what they can do with edge rushers. They always find a way to get great edge rushers there at Lincoln, and you can see yet another example of that in Mr. Morgan.
Well, a lot of people disparaging of the big men in the trenches over at Lincoln every year, saying that's the reason they don't win. But
Lincoln had the largest offensive line I've ever seen them have, and they still had great folks on the defensive line. It's not about trying to pound and stop the ball. It's about athletes that put themselves in the right position at the right time.
Absolutely. As James Duncan is taking it over to the left side.
And gets clipped down after just a gain of 1.
And he gets just 1 on that. And you wonder if that was either a read or a broken play, because Ron Van looked to have something open on the right side there.
Looked and then certainly stopped looking.
So now that hurry up, and we see Griffin out wide to the right. That could be very interesting. And James Duncan also thinks it.
On the short out, and it doesn't happen. No. Great job on the defensive end there. Who we got?
That's Tyler Buckley from Coronado, one of Kurt Hines' boys.
Very, very true. Very true.
And I speaking of Kurt Hines, you got to love what he's doing out there at Coronado. He's not.
Putting the pieces back together. Now, if he can get Wade McKinney to play some football, that'd be great.
Oh, man. If Wade McKinney on a football field would be dangerous. I don't know if you want to put that out there to the world.
Happen.
Oh, I
Can
want
I
that
just
to
wish it
happen
into
so
existence?
Now, where does Wade McKinney play? Where do you put him on a football field, Brandon?
Anywhere he damn well pleases.
As we're going.
Big throw. Whoa, what a nice catch there on the outside. What a nice catch by Jake Ventimiglia. I've always liked that man. You know, one thing I don't like about Mel Carmel, they always have the most complicated names in the universe.
Oh, absolutely.
Carson T. That's the name of their quarterback. That's it.
I was actually up at Mount Carmel watching Wayne McKinney yesterday. So,
And how did that go for you?
oh, that went very well, Brandon. That was very pleasing to the eyes.
Here comes Duncan.
Oh,
Big
with another one
throw.
out wide. And that's
Nice reel in. Very nice reel in there by Dylan Jabase. I like Dylan playing in this game as a wide receiver. You know, he had a tough time. He had to switch from quarterback to wide receiver, basically wide receiver / tight end. Because, Luke can play so well at quarterback. But this is a really good job by him finding a way to modify himself in his senior year and still make a contribution.
well, I tried to do that last year and it didn't go so well. So I admire him.
You tried to be a wide receiver last year?
Yeah, for about a week, Brandon.
Oh, okay.
Didn't go
I
well.
figured that would go about that way.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to say on this broadcast, I thought you did fantastic when I saw you in the spring game.
Thank you.
Your junior year.
Thank you.
You made the highlight, didn't you?
I did make the highlight. You're right, Brandon.
Who'd you throw it to?
San Diego State linebacker
You threw it to
Michael Shawcroft. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I knew there's a reason why you made it in. I couldn't recall.
Yep, absolutely.
You set the standard. You said, wow, playing well here feels great. I think I'm going to go to school here.
Yeah, basically.
It's all you, Chase. Haven't we figured that out?
Well, I'm trying to tell people it's all about San Diego State.
Don't get under pressure, has to dump it out and goes to nobody, almost hits Top Dog in the head.
Well, and Vines tried to save Top Dog. I wouldn't have,
No,
personally.
let him suffer. That's my take.
And now we got 4th down, and it looks like they're sending the punt unit out. And once again, we don't know if there's room for fakes, but if there is, oh, we'd love to see
Now's
one.
the time.
Absolutely.
We'd love to see it.
We've got 51 seconds left in this, what feels like a very long first quarter. And we've got, the punt unit on. We've got Anthony Gilpin Jr. back to receive.
Someone's making kettle corn. That's my biggest headline right now.
Oh.
It's 3-0 and someone is making kettle corn. That's what I care about currently.
And here comes Jorge Aguilar, and there's that hang time I was telling you about.
Gilpin is going to let it go, let it fly, and it goes right back into the end zone.
Too good of a punt.
Reset now, 44 seconds to go in the first quarter. 3-0 to the red team. Both teams have crossed the 50 once in this game, and we'll see what the blue team has in store for their third time out. We'll be right back after a quick break.
And welcome back. We've got the blue team back out on the field, and that's a new quarterback out there. That's Chris Davila.
Chris Davila could really go. He's impressive, and you can see why. One thing you're going to see if they decide to go no huddle is having Chris back there is going to really help them because that's all he's done at Lincoln these past years. One of the reasons that they kept going back to him when they were shuffling quarterbacks at Lincoln is because as the senior leader, he understood the offense. He understood exactly what Dunn and Jason Carter have been trying to teach over there, and it's been a very intelligent quarterback. We were talking earlier about how are you playing for a scholarship. Chris is one of those guys. He may be a little diminutive, if that's the word, but the key about him that makes it work is that he's intelligent, he's composed, and when Lincoln had trouble, they always went back to him. They said, we're having a problem, we can't get this done, we're going back to our workhorse. And it's worked for them every time.
And I met him at a quarterback camp actually here at this very venue, Mira Mesa, as the first quarter comes to an end, and he just keeps his head down and he puts the work in. He doesn't talk, he does nothing but just grind, and that's why he holds offers from Doane out in Nebraska and Buena Vista, who actually showed interest in me as a wide receiver to their chagrin.
They really did.
Yeah.
Wow, they must have been out of wide receivers.
Oh, yeah, they must have been very far down their board, Brandon.
All right, well, we'll take another break here, and we'll be right back with second quarter action, 3-0, Red Squad.
And as we come back, we've got Chris Davila back in the shotgun, and he's going to drop back to pass, looking wide, steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off, and he's going to get a few yards out of it.
For long, though.
Getting 3 or 4 yards on that scramble.
Until Ethan Nelson said otherwise.
And out in that backfield that they've got out there, they have Xavier Brown, the running back out of Montgomery. And he is a true Darren Sproles prototype. He is 5'3", 135. But when I tell you that 135 is all muscle, I was looking at this man pregame, and it was, he's like a cannonball.
Cannonball.
Yeah, I'd be scared to face him in the hole. Obviously, that's me, but
that's
you know.
You. Keyword you. Chris back to pass again, goes short, ball bobbles on the ground a bit.
And they're ruling it incomplete. That was a pass to number 85, McGivney. And he is another player who has talent but got overshadowed by that hulking beast of a tight end they have at Scripps Ranch out there.
Mr. Norberg.
Yeah, Grant Norberg. Oh, my
6'8"
God.
tight end. Sounds like fun.
And there's probably a reason he's not out here. He is currently enjoying basketball season as a 6'8" human being.
Wait, I haven't got a chance to get him on the TV yet. I gotta change that.
Oh, I haven't been able to get to a Scripps Ranch basketball game. I really want to, especially since I found out that Mekhi Shaw, who is also playing wide receiver in this game, is actually, I think, lined up wide to the left right now. He plays for Scripps Ranch as well.
Punt time now for the blue team. Can you see who's receiving that ball there? 'Cause I'm a bit blind at the moment.
No, he has not turned towards us.
And
but he muffs it. Oh, and it's recovered by the blue squad. That might be what they need to get into the end zone here.
This game has been reignited for certain. And the beauty of number 58 out there, Jaden Smith.
Jaden Smith out there. That's a defensive end, and whenever you're a big man and you get one of those recoveries, it's party time on the sideline.
We had a chance to talk to Jaden Smith when we were covering the lineman games over at Hilltop. He was pretty much the heart and soul of what Otay was about, so I'm not surprised to see him being on the ball. When you're talking about playing for scholarships, what are you talking about? Being aware when that punt gets buffed, what do? You've already run down the field. That's a lineman getting down the field and getting on that ball. That's not the way it's supposed to work.
And that's Davila back in the shotgun again, handing it to
Back
Brown.
to work.
Oh,
but
and Brown coughs it up. And that was a combination of Artie Morales and DeAndre Patterson, two players we've already talked about. And you know what? I'm gonna drop my hot take. I'd say that Artie Morales as a linebacker at Lincoln, they would have been better. No. Marquise, if you're out there, I'm kidding, I swear. Please don't shoot me the evil eye at your next basketball game.
No, he'll just give you that Wolfpack sign about 8,000 times.
Oh, he will. He will do that.
Pretty accurate.
My theory is that he took a few weeks to learn how to do it, and now he's just really proud of it.
Yep. Hey, you know what? Wolfpack back on some mass destruction. I'm okay with it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Someone out there knows what I'm quoting, and for that person, I hope they feel good about themselves. Because I feel pretty good about myself.
Oh, and we've got a change up in the quarterback position for the Red Squad as well, Trevor Youngman, and he's going to go under center with a split back
that
formation.
Boy's up to something.
And we've got a handoff.
That came straight out of the San Pasquale playbook.
Oh, it has to have. Yeah, that's exactly what Youngman loves to run.
He said, "I'll play quarterback for you, but can we run like 7 plays from the San Pasquale double handoff,
and
1937 playbook?"
Yeah, watching San Pasquale, you expect that somebody's going to figure out what they're doing at some point, but they never do. Yeah.
But that's the sign of a great offense is when you're still trying to figure it out.
Absolutely.
Just
getting wrapped up. And that's Leviticus Thorpe. He was a late entry into this game. Trust me, the PA announcer that was doing introductions didn't know that either. So he had to improvise late as Leviticus Thorpe ran out on the field.
Also to our viewers, I'm sorry my laugh is so enigmatic that it probably just stings your ears when I do it. I'm trying to cover my mouth when that happens.
And they're finally sending Youngman back into.
Oh, look at Rashad. He was lined up as running back, but now
there we go. We got to sweep to Rashad. That's fun.
Up to the left side and can't find any space. Great job by this blue defense identifying the situation and making a play on it. And that's what Marlo Jenkins does. Wonderful job reading, goes straight into the pursuit angle, and finds him with only 2 yards gained.
Well,
that shows collegiate skills.
If you can tackle Rashad Griffin in a pursuit situation,
then you probably are doing pretty well at your job.
Pretty well at your job, absolutely. As we've got Jorge Aguilar back to punt again. And back to receive once again is Anthony Gilpin Jr., as we talked about, very explosive player.
That means I start paying attention. Anthony Gilpin sitting there fielding a punt, it means my eyes are tuned.
Oh, and that's a high snap. He's going
Right
to have to
above
run that
his
ball
head. He's got
down.
a lot of
He might have
running
time to
do in
punt it
pursuit.
still.
He's
Oh, he's going to just
hurl
throw it down the
but
field.
it could go to somebody.
Oh,
Tipped
and
in
it's
the air.
picked up.
And
Oh, he's
it is
taking it back.
picked away. Beautiful job by Connor Battaglia.
Oh, what a play that was. That was.
Connor's been an impact linebacker for Scripps Ranch. And you can see again the awareness after he threw the ball away. Connor getting it off the deflection and putting the blue team in perfect position to get something done.
Oh, and George Jackson absolutely laying into Jorge Aguilar on the sidelines. That he had time to pick that up and punt it. I would have just done away with the ball.
I got you. I got you indeed.
Now, sadly, that means Anthony Gilpin was not allowed to get the return. However, I don't think that they're going to be too displeased with this result.
I think they'll be A-okay.
And we've got that's Nathan Temple back out there in the shotgun with Nate Stein to his left. In motion is Anthony Gilpin Jr. Drops back to pass. He's
under pursuit
eaten
and
up.
crushed.
Jake
Absolute.
Cassidy from Cathedral. Oh man. Oh, you never want to see that U coming at you on the side of the helmet.
No,
oh
you
man.
don't. Whether it says U, whether it says Don's, whether it says CCHS,
Whether it's
whatever
the horse.
it says,
Oh.
yeah, whether it's the horse.
Oh, that horse is terrifying.
Whether
Brandon.
it's just a guy praying, it doesn't matter
Oh,
what it is.
terrifying. Any time it has anything to do with Cathedral, you may as well just lay down.
Just forget about it. White on one side here, Wilkins on the other.
And we got an empty
wide
backfield.
situation. Back to pass, needs a little protection, steps
Pump
up in
fake.
the pocket, looking
Oh,
a
a little lob,
dumb.
beautiful. And Stein just gets eaten up at the previous line of scrimmage. They're going to get about 6 out of that.
Useful 6. When you face a second and long, the key isn't trying to make it 1st and 10. The key is trying to make it 3rd and shorter.
A manageable third and shorter. Yes, absolutely. And that play actually reminded me of last week's Kyler Murray, Larry Fitzgerald touchdown hookup, where Larry Fitzgerald caught the ball about 3 yards away from Kyler Murray.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, anything it takes. And I mean, once again, probably not the most ideal play, but I don't think the Mission Bay's head coach is going to be
aggrieved. I think he'll be fine. Nathan here with Stein in the backfield. 4 wide. Good time looking, throws to the end zone. There's some contact, ball flipped everywhere.
My God!
But
Oh my God!
Caught.
Anthony Gilpin
caught.
Jr.
Anthony Gilpin can do it all. The PPR two-way player of the year nominee, showing why once again with an incredible catch. That ball bounced across about 4 or 5 men, and he's able to come down with it.
Well, I think you guys did him a disservice by nominating him for two-way player of the year, because he can catch the ball 8 ways from Sunday. Oh my gosh.
You can say 3-way player because of what he does on special teams as well.
Absolutely. You can say any way player because you put him on a football field, he'll find a way
He'll go
to succeed.
any way, always, because he is the way. And now the way they're going to try and get in the end zone now is putting Stein to the left of Temple.
We've got a bunch formation
Triple
out wide.
set.
Oh.
Temple looking, steps up in the pocket, rolls past one another, going deep in the end zone, looking.
Oh,
and
and Anthony
caught by
Gilpin Jr. Wow.
Gilpin is the impact player of the first half for both of these squads, as far as I'm concerned. Almost had another chance there.
And what's going to be fun to see is does Nate Stein get a carry in this goal second and goal situation?
To see is not even a draw, but that old Tom Brady play where he would fly out and go like this. And
oh,
throw
the direct
to the
snap,
inside.
absolutely, yes.
They used that to be the Chargers a couple of times.
It's worked against a lot of teams. And we got Randy Smith going out to the left. We've got
that bunch back again here.
Absolutely. And you got to think that they're going to be trying to throw a post over the middle, and that's what they're doing with Wilkins, but he's not
Temple has
open.
to roll to his right under pressure from
two.
Gets
And he
hit
gets
as he throws.
crushed.
Called an incomplete pass, but yes, a big-time hit there.
Ajani Shelton from Mount Carmel. Those Mount Carmel boys.
Second time the Mount Carmel defense has stepped up here in this football game.
Oh, man. And you got to give Temple credit. He popped right back up to get the next play, and that's like one of those things that you're talking about an all-star game. That's what scouts want to see. Are you going to be able to recover from a hard hit like that?
Well, if anyone's paying attention to the other game, it's 7-7, and that college thing.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
don't know, but we're worried
that's
about
one of
that.
those meaningless bowl games, right?
Yes, that's just the whatever.
What is it, Louisiana or something?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Now, anyway, we've got 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line. You got to think this is going to be a passing play, and you got to like that matchup.
Motion now, Gilpin inside, but do you have a problem
here?
A play that would have been nice.
That would have been a Randy Smith touchdown. That would have been the Santana touchdown.
If only there hadn't been a legal procedure, and we're going to have to rerun the 3rd down.
Oh, man, that is heartbreaking, I would say. And the blue team still needs to get on the board, so we're going to see.
Surprising. They've had the more efficient offense today, but yet they're not on the board.
Yeah.
It's like defense matters or something.
Oh, almost. Almost like that. It's almost like when you have that Dawn on your side on the defense, it gets things going a little bit. But here we go. Now keep your eye on Jordan Wilkins going out wide to the right.
Keep your eye on them all.
We've got Gilpin
and watch for McGibney here. McGibney can be used as a tight end coming across the middle.
Absolutely.
Temple
and it's going to go to Wilkins. Yep.
And Wilkins
broken up out there. That is a great defensive play by the DB from the Red Squad.
Oh, yes, Mekhi Shaw. He was our Week 2 student-athlete spotlight honoree, and that ability is on display immediately.
And he was one of the key reasons that Scripps Ranch was in that championship in the semifinals against Central. Mekhi Shaw had 2 or 3 nice catches down the field, really helping out that team to advance past Central, a tough Central team that many people slept on.
Not me, though. Not when De Niro Osuna is under center.
Oh, De Niro Osuna, man. When I went out there for the Bell game.
De Niro.
Money.
Is De Niro.
He's money. Now, they're
if
going
you didn't
for
want
it
me
on
off
4th.
of this broadcast before, you certainly do now after that, Joe. Let's see what Temple does. 4 wide motion by Gilpin going left to right across the screen. Temple looking past Gilpin, but throws it short. And the Red Squad gets the ball back here with 7:08 to go in the 2nd quarter.
Looked like a miscommunication between Temple and Gilpin. Gilpin did not get his head around soon enough, or Temple threw it too early. Either way, it was a poor result.
Either way, it ain't happening.
No, it is not happening. But that'll be another chance for Trevor Youngman to show his stuff in this All-Star game. So I'm not complaining. I'm always happy to watch some Youngman ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say, Youngman, there's no need to feel down. I said Youngman.
You are not qualified for those jokes yet.
And that's taken up, just a swarm of Blue Stars. Everybody wanted to get on that tackle. Can we award a 10th of a tackle?
You can try.
I don't think CIF would be very happy with me for trying, but I'll try.
And usually when CIF isn't happy, it's when I know I'm doing something right. Wait, are we still on, huh?
Hey, yeah.
Huh? What?
Wait, you didn't turn the mic off?
What?
Youngman. Oh, I thought you made the grab. No, that's a great pass breakup out there. And that's by Diego Sanchez out of Olympian. That Olympian team that you were talking about. A lot of people were sleeping on this year, but their defense.
The fun thing about Olympian, they're coached by a former student-athlete spotlight honoree in Mr. Van Nostren.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes them always intriguing to me.
Son of the former head coach,
yes.
Paul Van Nostren.
Who was also in said piece. Nice little scramble by Youngman looking for space and ducks underneath. Almost gets to the 1st down marker, but they're going to have to be in a punting situation here.
4th and 1. You got to think they'd punt, but George Jackson, Lincoln, and Southwestern are 2 very aggressive schools that he's coached at. I'd like to think he's going for it, and he will. So Youngman, a lot of pressure being put on him by George Jackson as we get a timeout from the Red Squad. Jackson not liking what he was seeing out there.
We'll let the anticipation build. We'll be right back and talk about what happens on this 4th down play.
And we're back as Trevor Youngman is going for the QB sneak to get the first down, and he has it.
He got it.
That's a gutsy call right there by George Jackson.
Incredible ganados. We're not going to take up what that means.
And that's going to go a long way for this red team for keeping this lead here.
Yeah, certainly.
At this
Youngman
point,
back here with two backs shifting out right now. A little bit of motion there. Going around the right side.
That ball's going to Caleb Berry, and he gets hit in the backfield.
He's not going very far.
That was Marlo Jenkins.
Glad to say goodbye to all our fans after that.
And there goes the viewership. And it's gone.
And it's gone.
Caleb Berry getting hit by Marlo Jenkins once again right there. Marlo Jenkins. I'm just old enough to get that
Young
joke.
man moving around.
Oh, young man
to the left.
tucks it away,
looking for some
pulls it
more,
back.
doesn't find as many, and gets surrounded by a pack of the blue squad, but will still get 2 yards on the play, setting up 3rd and 9.
Now you know what I propose for this All-Star game. I don't know about red stars and blue stars. I think you need to have it like youth soccer, where the kids get to vote on their team name. You know when you'd have the blue fighting cherries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they all pick some dumb Fortnite names, so.
Oh, they absolutely would, and I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
I'd love to be out here saying.
I bet you would love to see that, Chase.
I'd love to see the fighting Fortnites. You understand?
Oh my goodness.
That's gonna be a thing.
Oh, corner blitz! Look at the corner blitz. Almost gets there, but instead the pass is almost picked off.
And Rashad Griffin is understandably upset.
Yes. But it was a great job by Masato Thompson.
Oh, for sure.
I was staring right at him when that play began. I was wondering why he was so close to the line of scrimmage for 3rd and 9. It's because he went straight at Trevor. But great credit, though, to Trevor for getting the ball out at least. Even if it was almost picked, he didn't just let it linger. He actually did something with it.
And Jorge Aguilar, hopefully we're going to be able to see the snap get back there this time.
You won't be able to get away with it like you did last time, that is for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can already see, I like watching Gilpin count. He's counting everybody, get everything sorted out. You can tell he's got real experience.
Oh, he's posturing
punch.
back there. He's ready. That
snap
move
works out this time. Good block.
Oh,
but
the
punch
is not as good. Oh, Ron Van, that's a
roll
live ball. He's got nothing but daylight in front of him. Oh, he's on the red squad.
Correct.
I'm unintelligent, Brandon.
And you know what?
It's been a
we
long
all
week.
fall short of the glory of God, is what I say. I do that on a daily basis.
Oh, man. How's that other game going?
I don't have the other game up right now. My focus is here, Chase. Again, thank you so much to our viewers out here hanging out the SDFNL showcase game between the Red Stars and the Blue Stars. I believe I was trying to count last night. I think this is the 7th time we've done this.
I believe so. I haven't been here all the time, as you can tell.
Well, you were like 11 when we started, probably. So.
Well, you don't think I could have been in the play-by-play booth then, Brandon?
No, I think you could have.
I just don't think it would have been great.
Yeah.
And Temple's back out
possible. They're doing that bunch formation again.
They like that bunch formation, and it's
Quick
going.
Dump, but Stein can't hold on. Oh no, was that Stein again, or was that 23?
No, that's Stein. That's Stein.
Again, this is my plea for all of these all-star games. Better numbers.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
I understand you want the style because it's an all-star game. Better numbers.
Yes.
These are better numbers than when we did Spanos, but still,
for sure.
Better numbers.
And I like the Red Stars have it right. They've got the white jerseys, and they've got the red numbers. but the Blue Squad has these little squiggles going through their numbers, and it's like, what?
I cannot see. But we can certainly see Temple trying to find some space, gets roped around, and almost had a tuck rule there.
Dragged down by Luke Simonek from Santana. That's Santana on Santana violence.
You know what?
Hate to see it.
You hate to see it. You want Santee to be able to work together sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Serious lack of West Hills out here, I may say. I thought they had a fantastic season.
West Hills and Santana get together, man. You know you're in trouble.
That's the whole city of Santee working against you there.
Did I hear the San Diego squad will be playing the San Francisco squad in Los Angeles? That's the rumor I heard.
Oh, for the SDFNL game?
Yes.
Perhaps. I don't have any confirmation. We'll get some confirmation of that at halftime, and we'll have that for you in the 3rd quarter.
Well, one thing I can confirm is that we've got a pretty good backfield here.
Oh, absolutely. That's a star-studded backfield, I'd say. Oh, and you've got an opening down the right side.
For Wilkins.
A beautiful ball. Oh, a perfect ball by Nathan Temple right on the sideline. That's where every quarterback coach tells you to put the ball. Gorgeous play, a great catch by Jordan Wilkins, and phenomenal focus to keep that foot in bounds.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Oh, absolutely.
With 4:13 left to go in the first half, 3-0. Red on the board, but blue once again hanging out in red territory. Temple back behind. We're still running with this 4 set. They're not bunched this time now. They're just winged out here.
And you got to think maybe they're going backside to. Oh,
Temple
no, they're
trying to roll
going.
out to
Oh,
Wilkins again, but there should be a flag here.
There
He
needs
was
to be a
holding him
holding on that.
aggressively.
Oh.
But nothing called.
Oh, no. Hate to see it. And that would have been Jordan Wilkins once again, and I'm fairly confident he might have caught that ball.
Me too.
And coming off the sideline, that is Shane Letois from Escondido Charter, who does not get enough credit for what they do up there.
Letois.
Say that one more time for me.
Letois.
Letois. I like it.
I
like
enjoyed
it.
the White Tigers.
I do also enjoy the White Tigers. I enjoy their entire school.
They go great in all stripes.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go again with 4 wideouts. Once again, moving Gilpin left to right, goes underneath, back
And there's
into
Stein.
side,
He's going
breaks
to
on
the outside.
left side.
Got to break one tackle. Oh.
Breaks one, couldn't break the other 2, but gets 8 on the play.
And that's what you got to do. You just got to give it to Nate Stein and let him get 7-8 yards on every carry, because he will. He'll do it.
But I like the way they set that up, though. When Gilpin goes underneath the formation, it means he doesn't get in the way of what's coming next. It also forces the entire red defensive back to shift their attention one direction while you put the ball the other way. And plays like that certainly work at the high school level, because when you shift a young man's attention one direction, it's easy to move things the other direction.
Absolutely. And that's part of the reason that Mission Bay was so prolific on offense this year, is because of their use of motion. A.J. Vines coached under Robbie Owens, who also utilizes a lot of motion in his offenses. And we've got a wildcat going on out there.
Nice little bunch here. Let's see what happens as they move the ball forward.
And that's going to be Cameron Sanderlin from Grossmont taking it to the outside. That's a defensive end.
And that's a big boy at defensive end, and that's why you rolled that play on 3rd down.
Woo! Cameron Sanderlin. So A.J. Vines is busting out the big guns for this one. He is making some
using everything in the playbook. 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 3-0 Red, as you watch us here on TVX.
And I think they're sending out that same squad once again. I don't see any Nathan Temple. I see.
And why wouldn't you after that? It's like they finally realized that running the ball was getting them somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. And one name that we haven't called very often that I thought we'd be calling more of is Dylan Quinn today. And he's actually
not the case.
He's actually going to be the one lining up to take the snap this time. So we'll be calling his name now. We'll see if it's good or bad.
And it looks like we got a timeout here for the blue squad.
No, the Red Stars.
The Red did not like what they saw.
No, not at all. I wouldn't either.
I was going to try and see if we could see the comments from recent. Give me a moment here. I want to see your comments out there in the world. I don't know if we can or not. Oh, yes, we got them. Oh, well, Tim, we can answer your question now 5 minutes later. Tim, there is no blitzing in this game.
Just the first half. In the second half, they're allowed to.
The second half, they can let it ride.
Real Pro Bowl rules. There's also no onside kicks unless it is close late in the game.
And that's all I have to say. The end.
That's it.
That's it.
I saw one comment there that said Nathan Stein is running hard. He certainly is. I'd say that's an adequate.
Best player for the Blues so far, Anthony Gilpin.
For sure. I think Jordan Wilkins is making making it a contest, but I think
What about the best player on the Red squad? I think it's hard to tell right now.
They've just been all very prolific. I think maybe it might be.
I'm thinking Patterson at this point.
Perhaps.
On defense.
Perhaps.
Obviously Josiah was great early on.
Oh yes, that's the one I was
sacks,
thinking of. Josiah with 2 sacks early.
Has gotten there. Trevor's done a good job running the ball.
You're talking about who scored the most. I'd say Jorge Aguilar has been putting in the work, Brandon. Yeah, he's done it all. He's thrown a pass. He's punted. He's kicked. Sure, the pass didn't go phenomenally, but none of them do all the time.
He did what he had to do, so let's roll it back again here.
Here we go. Temple going up to Jordan Wilkins.
And Wilkins reels it in.
Oh, my God.
Beautiful catch with the one-hander by Jordan Wilkins. A state championship level wide receiver makes the wonderful grab there right over the defensive back, and suddenly the blue team is in business.
And you talk about this game being the game to make yourself open for an offer. That is an offerable play right there. If I'm Lake Erie, if I'm McPherson, if I am out here with Stetson, I'm looking at that play and I'm thinking, okay.
One more time, taking a look at it. It was a beautiful job by the defensive back, trying to make all the space that he could, but it just didn't work out the way that it needed to. It was a beautiful job by Van to try and create something, but sometimes something doesn't turn into what you need it to turn into. As we take a look at the replay here. Again, they were working that bunch. They were trying to work that bunch on the 3 side. They've been trying to make people go to that bunch on the 3 side, but they couldn't make it work. Couldn't make it work at all. By the way, the 2-point conversion is good. They set up that 3 bunch out there to try and attract people in, to try and swallow the defense. And then after all that work to do that, he ends up engaging the exact other way. It really doesn't get any better than that.
Oh, absolutely. Throwing the fade route, that's such a perfect fade route. Nathan Temple's ball placement is so impeccable. We saw it with Jordan Wilkins earlier in the drive, and then we saw it now in this end zone situation. And, I mean, really, if you're Nathan Temple, you're doing wonders for your stock right now today. Now, what's interesting is that 2-point conversion actually was no good. Sean Dixon dropped that ball, so it's 6-3.
Well, then I'm just wrong. How's that sound? Not the first time, won't be the last time either.
Everybody hurts sometimes, Brandon. I believe that was
sometimes.
I believe that was REM that said that.
Yeah. You were negative 15 years old when that happened.
Yeah, I was. My mother raised me on REM. Woo. As my mother would say, that's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, Brandon. And that's actually Nathan Temple in the spotlight right now. All eyes on him. And once again, we have the O-line punter, Michael Fonseca, kicking off. Now, I've never seen an O-lineman kick off, so this should be fun to watch.
Quite fun.
Oh, and that might be a penalty. That will be a penalty.
Though Rashad wanted it badly, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, the golf cart caught it.
Well done. 14-7, by the way, that Tiger team over there.
Oh, what are they?
That Maroon squad.
I prefer Escondido Charter White Tigers to whoever that team is. But
I wish they had a team called the Sooners.
I wish
Santana Sooners.
Oh. Hey, we need to pitch that. Let's draw some storyboards.
It's turning into a great buddy cop comedy we got going.
Aren't they all?
Aren't they all?
Still better than Joe Buck.
I'm not on the Joe Buck.
Bojuck?
The Joe Buck hate train.
Really?
No.
I am.
You know what?
I like him for baseball.
I love all people equally. How's that sound?
I like all people equally. I just think that Joe Buck is less equal. I think he's great at doing it baseball.
Let's enjoy the kickoff now.
Oh, another kickoff. Here we go. Boom. Oh,
Rashad has a stab at it. And he's going to let it go.
Okay, and that's interesting. I've never seen that happen before. Because you got to think, once it happens once, you're going down the middle, right?
Nope.
Really?
No, I'm saying, no, that was not the case.
Oh, no, that was not the case. Well, let's get it set up for another one, Brandon.
Roll it back. That's what I say.
That's what I say after I get beat 11-0 one-on-ones at the Arc.
This is not some. Well, you know, in the O-line kicker's defense, if I had Ron Van on one side and Rashad Griffin on the other, I probably wouldn't want to kick it to them either.
They got a new kicker out there, actually.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's tough.
That's tough. You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. Oh, my gosh. That's Chris Davila. Davila. Chris Davila.
That sounds Davilas.
It does sound Davilas. And
but he decides to give it to Griffin.
Well,
Griffin will take it at the 20.
That might not have been the best decision.
The 30.
Wow.
Gets slowed down,
I was gonna say.
not stopped.
He's taking it down. The right side, he's got it.
40,
he's got an opening.
50,
Chris Davila is back there
40,
trying to
the
recover.
30,
He's got it. He's going to take it back all the way.
Rashad Griffin Jr. scores the touchdown.
So
for
dynamic.
The Red Squad.
Wow. How about that? Took it from the left side. Took it exactly where the play call was designed. Let them form that wall along the field and just takes it up the right sideline. And everybody We have a party in the end zone, Brandon.
We certainly
Party in
do.
the end zone.
And when I was actually here when they were facing Mira Mesa, they had a nice party in that exact same spot when Gardner scored the game-clinching touchdown. You talked about building the wall, but it's always about shaking one guy, and there was one man he had to shake at about the 30-yard line.
And that
that's
was
exactly what he did and what he needed to do, and that's what happened.
That was Cameron Sanderlin that he shook, the big boy,
Mm,
which is hard to do. It's hard to shake Cameron Sanderlin.
It very much is.
And now we have my still MVP of this game, Jorge Aguilar, back to kick. I'm still on the Aguilar train.
I think Rashad took the thunder there.
No, I don't know. I think he's got to give me 2 more touchdowns.
Kick is up and good. It is 10-6. Red squad over the blue. 2:40 to go in the second quarter here in the SDFNL showcase game.
Well, we asked for scoring, and we've got it now.
All it took was one mistake.
It did.
And now we're here.
It did take that. So now we see if the blue squad can do the same thing, and I mean they certainly have the potential to. Christian Salikup and Anthony Gilpin Jr. back there. That's almost equivalent, if you ask me,
Certainly.
to Rashad Griffin and other one. This weather is actually pretty nice. It's been pretty rainy all week.
Well, thanks to wonderful meteorologist Ginger Jeffries, she said we would not experience rain until Monday and late Wednesday/Thursday, and then after that we are free and clear.
Oh.
It's a turn to the usual San Diego gloom until 1 o'clock that exists from January to April.
Oh, yep. The regular scheduling.
I love when people from out of town say, "Oh, we visited because we don't want to deal with winter," and I say, "But you came in January. What do you think was going to happen? Did you read a book before you came?"
It's always
Answer,
funny to me
no.
when people were complaining about rain, like San Diegans complaining about rain.
No, that's me.
personally.
I'm one of them.
Oh, are you?
Yes, very much so. Big kick here. Let's go to start with 2:40 to go.
And they give it to Gilpin. There's certainly potential here.
Gilpin's got some space. Gets a little bit of a hole. Has to
Oh,
move around too, and he does, but gets stopped by 24. They get stopped by Van. And they'll pick it back up at the 30-yard line. They've got a chance now. 2:32 to go. We'll see how much of that time they use, considering that they're now down by 6 with 2 and change to go. We'll see how they line it up coming up here. We've already seen them run that jumbo heavy with Sanderlin. We've seen them try to run that jumbo heavy with Dylan Quinn. Now we're going to see if they go back to it, even though they're at their own 30-yard line, or they're going to try and throw the ball around again some more.
Well, they've got Nathan Temple and Nate Stein emerging from the huddle, and one has to wonder when they're going to send Davila out there.
But it
again.
also looks like they're setting up Nate wide here and letting Temple do it on his own, which is reminiscent of that Santana offense. So we'll see if it works here for them.
Absolutely,
Temple
that
back,
offense.
gets some pressure to the outside,
Oh.
goes to Stein and can't get it there, goes right through his hands.
And the one thing I didn't like there, it looked like Stein started to back away, knew that there were 2 defenders there ready to kill him, and
You just can't have it that way.
no, you can't have it. You can't have your cake and not get killed too.
No.
That's what my mom always said to me.
That is exactly what she said, I'm sure.
Well, that
Also, there was some great pressure by Cassidy as well. They're really doing a good job pinching the corners here later in the second quarter and forcing Temple to move up. But you got to be able to have your wide receivers and your skill players deliver. So we'll see if they can deliver here on 2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line.
And you got to wonder if Temple's going to look at that Stein crossing route anymore. That's been 2 or 3 times now that it's not worked for him, gone through Stein's hands. So you got to wonder if he's going to start looking more towards Jordan Wilkins. That's what's been. Oh. And we've got a timeout called.
Quick pause here. Do we see a timeout? Yes, we do. And we'll take a timeout too. 2:28 to go here in the first half. 10-6, red over blue.
And we're back, and we are experiencing another Nathan Temple shotgun, almost as good as that guy that plays for those Tigers out there.
Mr. Burrow did throw a touchdown pass right now to make it 21-7, but we're going to see if Temple can throw one too. But he can't because he's got lots of trouble
and
on his
that's
hands.
once
and
again
he's done in
Santana
by
on
Luke
Santana.
Semenek.
And his helmet's off. Oh, and he's complaining about a penalty from his own team. Oh, no.
That's just cruel.
Oh, no.
He's like, how dare you? When I see you at first period tomorrow, it's over.
I'd love to see them walk into first period and just, immediately the gloves come off. The teacher's like, what's happening? You guys are teammates. Not anymore, Miss Johnson.
Not on Saturday we weren't.
And Chris Davila coming back out.
It's also a nice packed house here.
Oh, it's a very good crowd.
It's filled in well. I'm really happy to see all these people coming out here to support their kids.
Absolutely.
You know, it's great to see the support for all of them. It really means something. Chase, did it mean something to have your family watching you play?
Oh, it always meant something to have my family watch the number one placeholder in this county.
Great
catch. As Jordan Wilkins is taking it across the field. He's got to break one more tackle.
Breaks two.
And he's got turf.
Space. Gets past. Oh, almost gets past Griffin, but he's able to stop him at about the 37. Pretty crazy. A lot of running. About 30 yards of running for a 7-yard gain.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't change a lot. 1:15 and counting to go. It looks as if they're going to
Nathan
strap
Temple
it back
coming
up
back
here on
out.
third down.
Now that Nathan Temple Jordan Wilkins connection has been working. Now do they go short to get the first down, or do they just bomb it away?
That's why
right
they've
here?
got Mackay on him right now. Mackay squared up against Wilkins.
And they're going to give it to
Stein.
Stein.
And Stein will.
Oh, did he get it?
Did
he get it?
Like he got it.
I think they're calling it red ball. We'll see. We'll see.
A pause. I think we're going to need to measure this.
They may be measuring it, and from that ball placement that I assume they're going to put it at, that's probably going to be a first down. I'm liking their chances here.
It's going to be certainly important with 56 to go here.
Absolutely.
In the first half.
And we're going to get you the closest view we can of this measurement here.
I'm taking a look at the replay where they stopped him in from where they marked up. It looks as if he was short, but that doesn't mean it's where they put the ball.
Absolutely. Spotting is one of the is one of those things that you really could probably do robotically, but they just refuse to.
Well, it'd take a lot of fun out of the game too.
That is true.
Down, and he is.
Let's see it. Let's see.
They don't
The
know.
referee doesn't know. He's confused too.
They
He's asking
don't
George Jackson for the
know.
call. It's a first down. And Kona Segale doing a little hop, skip, jump happiness out there. He's pretty pumped up about that one.
But keep your eyes now. This defensive line for the Red Squad is getting real close to Temple on these plays here with a minute to go.
Oh, absolutely. If I'm Temple, I'm keeping my feet.
You see that pinch again.
There
He's
we
got
go.
to step up, looking, gets drawn on a little bit, and has to
Oh!
jump down. And that's a play you just can't have at this moment in time. They've still got two timeouts left. And looks like they're going to have to use one right now, and that's exactly what they do. 43 to go to reset this one. 43 to go on the clock. After just sneaking in a first down, it's now second and 9 should be here for the Blue Squad. We've seen a lot from Nathan Temple today.
And they're going to put 3 seconds back on the clock.
Well, how nice of them.
46 seconds left to go here.
If you're in the huddle for the Blue, what are you talking about?
Right now, I'm just talking about we just need to complete the ball and get out of bounds. That's what's important here, because we've only got one timeout to go. And, I mean, we can use that one timeout maybe once we get down there for a field goal, or we can use it earlier on in the drive, and then we don't have the timeout to stop the clock for a field goal. So just depends on what A.J. Vine's philosophy is.
You need a big hit now so you can run a couple short hits later. But
Absolutely.
The big hit has to come now.
Absolutely. And I think that's what A.J. Vines is going to go for here. He's been taking shots down the field, letting Jordan Wilkins run streak routes. I think that's what we're going to see. I'd be surprised if we don't see this three-man bunch formation a few more times in this half.
Mm-hmm.
Been working well for him. As we see Gilpin, Wilkins, Temple, and Davila. We had 2 quarterbacks on the field. Brandon.
That's dangerous.
We've got Chris Davila to the left of Nathan Temple. Let's see if they're going to use that. What's going to happen here? Certainly interesting. And, there we go. Yep, here we go. Exactly.
Dab has nothing at all on the play. Igor clearly gets in the way and stops any of that madness from occurring. And the clock will stop once again for a timeout. They tried to be smart with it to swing him around the other side, but you just couldn't stop clearly from getting out.
Well, I mean, after the rain we've had all week, I can see clearly now. I'm getting there, Brandon. I'm getting
Where's
it. That
this
was a good
mute
one.
button on your mic? All
He
right.
can't find it. He can't find it. We're safe. We're good. Oh, and we're talking about those stars. If you see right there on the 45-yard line, you got Ruben Pena and Montel Allen.
They are the stars, aren't they?
They are the stars of the show today.
They're the reason that we're all here.
Absolutely. They're the reason we're gathered here today.
You know, when you have guys that dedicate themselves to a cause, the thing that matters most is when it's messy, when it's not fun, when it's paperwork, when it's annoying phone calls, when it's checking up on somebody at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And that's what these guys have done to help a lot of kids get a chance that they may not be getting. And you have to really admire that.
Absolutely. And I mean, these guys had to somehow find a way to bring all of these kids from all across the county together for practices, get here for this game.
Note Randy Smith out wide. This was reminiscent of how they got the touchdown before. Had everyone key in on the three bunch, but then went to the outside.
Oh, they're going to
no,
Wilkins.
they're
Oh,
gonna
and a
go
hook and ladder. Oh, and Stein bowls over a man. Oh, and if you're Mekhi Shaw, you can't feel too good after that one. Nathan Stein hits hard.
Is no walk in the park, and this clock will run as we stare at 4th and 12. Spread them out again.
And here we got Temple gonna go.
And it slips out. That's a fumble technically.
Oh,
and they're gonna let him roll off with it.
Oh,
they
it's Luke Seminac.
All the way.
Luke Seminac
scores the touchdown.
Oh, and here comes a party in the end zone. Oh, and it's led by DeMarco Sampson, the wide receiver coach.
That's one way to go out in this ball game.
Wow.
They thought it was a throw. Turns out it was a fumble called against Temple, and that's a touchdown for the Red Squad.
Wow.
And that's where we will leave this one lying. There should be an extra point that has to be kicked here, but it should make it 17-6 after the kick.
And that's just got to be so disheartening if you're the Blue Squad.
Without a doubt. And they seem to be they don't seem to agree with the call at all.
Oh no, I would not either. I thought
it was incomplete myself.
Same. I saw the ball go forward, and I figured it'd be hard for the ball to go forward if it wasn't a pass.
Apparently, there's some things I thought I knew that I actually don't.
And
but it's time for the extra point and
MVP
smooth as silk. And that is where we'll leave. No, are they going to put it down? Nope. That's where we're going to leave things here in the first half. Your score at the end of one would be Red Squad 17, Blue Squad 6. An incredible first half. We'll see what happens in the second. We'll rejoin you in about 15 minutes' time.
And welcome back as we exit halftime and come back for the second half of this rather enthralling game. As before the break, we saw Santana's Luke Semanek come up with the fumble return touchdown in a very chaotic play that did not end well for the Blue Stars. Now as we get ready for the second half, it's going to be the Blue Stars' hill to climb and the Red Stars' game to lose, as we have now also lost Brandon Stone in the broadcast booth. He has other jobs to do at this game, and so you're going to have to deal with me for the next, let's go half hour to an hour of your life. And now they've put an extra 2 minutes left on the clock for halftime. So we're going to go back to a break, go back to enjoying the popcorn you were eating, and we'll see you in 2 minutes. And now we're back, and we have lost Brandon Stone, but we have gained one Adam Paul from EC Preps. Any thoughts on that first half, Adam?
It was a low-scoring game, very competitive. Crazy play there at the end of the first half with Luke Semanek from Santana, scoop and score. It's a great highlight for him. Hopefully that will, help him, for these college coaches.
Absolutely, and what me and Brandon were talking about towards the beginning of this game is that for a lot of these kids, it is about the offers, and really, if you're making plays like that, as long as you're swarming the ball and making those explosive plays, you're going to get more looks.
Yeah, you can't quit. So, like on the incomplete pass, even on the overthrows and incomplete passes, as long as you're going through and showing how hard, not letting up, it shows the coach that. You don't quit on things, even though it's a bad pass or whatever.
And now we've got more delays as the referees. We don't know what's going on, folks. Oh, we don't have a chain gang. We don't have a chain gang, but we have two brave volunteers running across the field.
And you heard the winner of this game has been invited to go play the Oakland team.
Me and Brandon were talking about that. He heard rumors. We had not confirmed them, but if you have confirmation, all right, that sounds good. That'll be fun.
Montel Allen confirmed that.
That sounds good. And a squib kick by Chris Davila. Oh, and it's being taken back this time by the up man, and that is number 11, DeAndre Patterson from Lincoln. We were talking about him earlier, forming one half of the better linebacking duos in San Diego with Marquise Allen Patman over there at Lincoln.
Yeah, Lincoln, very good squad. Kind of lost in their in their CIF championship game, but they returned quite a few players for next year, and they should have a pretty good squad over at Lincoln High next year.
And they're very well represented in this game as well. They have Chris Davila, they have Juan Cardenas, they have DeAndre Patterson, they've got Jorge Aguilar, Alonzo Morgan, Angel Cota. They're very well represented in this game, and that's because they produce great athletes, especially those edge rushers, as Brandon was discussing earlier. Now we've got, back in the shotgun again, James Duncan from Classical Academy, the Caymans. He's going to drop back to pass. He's looking right. He's going deep to Rashad Griffin Jr., who hauls it in. Is he inbounds? No, ruled incomplete. Could not stay in bounds on that.
Heck of an effort there by Rashad Griffin Jr. Thought he had it, but the officials called him out of bounds on that beautiful passing catch.
And reminiscent of those first half plays from Nathan Temple to Jordan Wilkins, which were pretty impressive as well. It looks like they're warming up Chris Davila on the Blue Stars sideline. So we'll see if Nathan Temple or Chris Davila comes back onto the field for the second half of the Blue Stars. Until then, we've got a Troy Williams, James Duncan backfield, which is always dangerous. One thing interesting about James Duncan is with that height, he's very mobile. Oh, and we got offsides, neutral zone infraction on the red squad. And that was, I believe, number 60, Ethan Nelson from Mira Mesa playing on his home turf. He's got a little excited, I guess.
Tried to call the play, but he got called for offsides. Also, we forgot to mention from Lincoln, Leviticus Thorpe.
Yeah, that was I guess a late entry to this game because the PA announcer announced him last as well. But Leviticus Thorpe certainly a factor for Lincoln this season. A very great athlete as Lincoln produces, and a very great team player as well. So we're going back into the shotgun here. Let's see who they go to this time. Are they going to the sweep for Duncan? No, it's going to be Duncan up the middle. Oh, stopped short. Nothing doing on that play, but that's the rushing threat of James Duncan.
Tackled there by Mira Mesa's own Marcus Garcia.
That Mira Mesa squad was something else. They're certainly young and they certainly have potential, but you can see that their senior leaders were also something to be feared as well. So Duncan's going to drop back once again, gives it over the middle. Oh, and Griffin just drops it through his hands. And that's been happening a lot in this game. That happened with Nate Stein a few times in the first half too. So it's just a matter of you just got to hold on to the ball at some point.
Yeah, even if Rashad Griffin would have caught it, he looked like he still probably would have been short of that first down marker. As the blue team, led by Garcia, looked like they would have brought him down probably a yard or so short.
And now back to punt once again. Jorge Aguilar, very good hang time on his punts, as we were discussing earlier. That one bad snap sort of put a damper on his day, but there's Aguilar's hang time again. And Salicup's just going to let that bounce. That could be a very good punt. Oh, and Salicup is going to pick it up. He's getting a few extra yards on it. Great effort, great awareness by Salicup to pick up an extra 6, and that can be important. That's the difference between the 5-yard line and the 11-yard line, a safety and not a safety.
Yeah, Salicup, looked like he was kind of watching the white team. They were just going to let it roll and, let it stop, but he was like, nope, I'm going to pick it up, and like you said, he got the extra 6-7 yards there.
Reminds me of that play by Harris from the Raiders last year, where he picked up and took it all the way back after it bounced at the 1. But going to be very interesting to see how the blue team comes out with Chris Davila in the shotgun, flanked on his left side by a new running back that we haven't seen much of today. That's going to be number 30, Mark Santar from San Pasqual, part of a very potent backfield over there in San Pasqual, headed up by Santar and Red Squad's quarterback, Trevor Youngman.
Yeah, the Golden Eagles had a pretty good season this year in their division and also league. They had quite a few seniors, as we see here on the rosters. See how they do for next year. Heard they have a pretty good young squad coming back.
Mm-hmm. One could say they have young men. And so Davila dropping back into the shotgun. And that's just, they're going to call the flag on PI there. And that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt the Red Stars. They almost had a 3rd and 10 right here, up 17-6. The Blue Stars catching a break there. The pass interference called on Grayson Noel from Mission Hills, who had a fairly underwhelming season this year. I get the philosophy of scheduling hard out-of-town opponents, But if it comes at the expense of your record, your strength of schedule, contrary to many people's beliefs, won't always get you into the playoffs, regardless of whether you win or lose. You still have to win those games. They ended up, I believe, what, 6-5 or 5-5, something like that.
Yeah, you're about that.
Davila once again in the shotgun. Oh, really good jump on the outside. And that is number 50. That's Alonzo Morgan, one of those Lincoln edge rushers we were talking about. Those edge rushers from Lincoln, just year in and year out, so athletic, so quick, and so anticipatory of the snap.
Yeah, if Morgan doesn't make that tackle, that running back there for the Blue Squad, he's got at least a first down, if not more.
Mm-hmm. Davila hustling out with the play. And now, as much as I personally love Chris Davila and I love his play style, you've got to think, after what Nathan Temple did in that first half, you'd think that they'd be trotting him out more, down 11 points here in the second half. But, hey, what do I know? Going out wide to Gilpin Jr., that's always a good place to go. And Gilpin Jr. stays on his feet, and he's shaking off defenders, and he gets the first down. That's such an explosive play by such a dynamic, explosive player in Anthony Gilpin Jr.
Yeah, Gilpin Jr. with that catch and his little shake and bake moves, getting that first down for the Blue Squad shows one of the reasons why he was one of the top receivers in all of San Diego County this year, and also consideration for the All CIF, which he did make.
Man, that is fantastic. Anthony Gilpin Jr. I had the pleasure of seeing him in the first game of the season, like I talked about earlier with Brandon against Ramona, and he's just so dynamic and so fun to watch. Like, you love tuning into Olympian games because he's just so fun to watch, as that stop is made by Grayson Noel, making up for his earlier miscue on that pass interference.
Yeah, Gilpin Jr., I don't know if you may or may not agree with this, but he kind of reminds me of East County's Mount Miguel's Jaheim Allen Pompey, with his catching abilities and also the ability to make the defender miss.
Absolutely. Allen Pompey had a really impressive season. He is a senior, correct?
Yes, correct.
Surprised to not see him out here in more of these.
Actually, he's a junior.
Is he a junior?
Yeah.
Wow, that is dangerous.
No, I'm sorry, he is a senior.
He's a senior.
Yeah.
Laverdier is the junior on that team. As Davila looks to scramble, he jumps over a man and simply throws it out of bounds. A smart play. Oh, one-handed catch by A.J. Vines, the head coach out of Mission Bay.
I think the reason why Jaheim Allen Pompey is not in this game is because he already played. I think has already played in his 2 All-Star games.
Oh.
He played. I believe he played in both the McCossie and the Spanos All-Star game.
I know he played in McCossie. I could have missed him in the Spanos game, but I don't believe I saw him. Either way, he honestly he should have gotten the offers he already needed by now. He is certainly a talent.
Yeah, with all the records that he broke this year, for both school and San Diego section records.
And now we've got Davila in an empty backfield once again. We've got Gilpin in the slot on the left. Keep your eyes on him. He is being loosely covered. Oh, but they're going deep and going up for it. Oh, just misses it. And that was to Shane Latois from Escondido Charter. And he just misplayed that ball, a little too short on it. And they're going to send out the punt team here.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that throw. It looked like it was either going to almost like a duck throw where it kind of like, dropped, and obviously it went over the receiver and defender's heads. So it was kind of weird.
Yeah, and so now we have my favorite player, Michael Fonseca, the O-lineman / punter. My favorite combination of position. I don't know about you, Adam, but I certainly love watching this kid kick.
Yeah, no, he's done a really good job today.
Barring the 2 out-of-bounds kicks, he's done good with the punting, not so much with the kickoffs. Done well with the field goals, extra points, certainly. And that's going to be down around the 32-yard line. And we're going to see the Red Stars come back out. Pay attention to that quarterback. When you have 2 quarterbacks in an all-star game, you can certainly use them to their advantage. And this time they're going to send James Duncan back out there. Now, James Duncan, very interesting. He, once again, 6'4", 200 pounds, but 7 rushing touchdowns and 506 rushing yards. One could compare him to possibly our version of Lamar Jackson.
I haven't seen him play, but from what I've heard said about him, he definitely a very mobile quarterback.
Absolutely, and he got to play last year with Diego Preciado, and obviously threw well enough to get Preciado up to Stanford. So as he goes and gets sacked, drops the ball, but the sack delivered by Masato Thompson on a cornerback blitz. Masato Thompson we saw earlier with the cornerback blitz. He is certainly a force to be reckoned with out at San Pasquale, part of that 9-2 overachieving team.
No, he definitely got back there, and Thompson, Duncan. No, Duncan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Duncan running for his life back there until he was sacked.
Well, and what's impressive about that tackle is that's a 5'10", 175-pounder on a 6'4", 200-pounder, still wrapping up at the ankles. And that's a good throw by Duncan down the field. And, looked like a bit of PI. Leviticus Thorpe cannot get to that ball. But it is, in the end, ruled just good coverage by, I believe that is, can't see his number. And me and Brandon were talking about this earlier. We need better numbers in these games. You can't see these numbers as well. Here we go. There he is. That is number 26, Marlo Jenkins. Having a little fun and banter on that other sideline with DeMarco Sampson, the wide receivers coach for the Red Squad. Played at San Diego State locally.
Yep.
I had him on my college fantasy football team, Adam.
I saw him play at San Diego State. He was a heck of a player for the Aztecs.
And eventually played for my boys, the Cardinals. But
yes.
Duncan dropping back. Oh! And he sets up
Ooh.
Rashad Griffin to just get hammered by Masato Thompson, who is doing wonders for his stock today. Oh!
That will go on the highlight reel.
Oh my gosh. Masato Thompson really showing out at this game, a very bright spot on this Blue Stars team that is still trailing by 11, but their defense is making a stand as Jorge Aguilar trots out for once again another punt, and they're sending Christian Salicup back deep this time, as opposed to Anthony Gilpin Jr., who we saw go back for these earlier in the game.
Don't be surprised if Salicup runs one of these back.
Mm-hmm.
He's really quick.
Absolutely. One of the most dynamic players for that Christian team this year. Homecoming king at Christian High School.
Mm-hmm.
Likable guy, I guess. Oh, and you got to think that is – oh, they invaded his personal space on that fair catch.
They didn't call it.
They didn't call it. And speaking of refs, a lot of talk on Twitter right now about a terrible PI call earlier in the Oklahoma. What was that? Some team from Louisiana or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see the play, so I can't speak to the play itself, but I saw the chatter about it. Of course, Oklahoma's getting blown out. I saw the score was 28-7 was the last I saw.
Terrible. I mean, for all of our viewers out there, if you're thinking about switching over to that game, don't. That's a boring game. This one's fun. You got a great announcing crew here. Oh, and dropped. That was number 80, Matthew Shams, the other Escondido Charter wide receiver than Shane Latois out here today. And Escondido Charter, a very slept-on school. They're up there in Escondido, the smaller Escondido school, but obviously producing some good athletes.
Yeah, Division 4. They lost in the first round to Escondido in a highly competitive game.
When you got to imagine those kind of games are always going to be competitive when you're in inter-city rivals. And that handoff goes to Xavier Brown, the 5'3", 135-pounder from Montgomery. I was talking to Brandon about this earlier. That kid is all muscle. He's a little cannonball. He can make you pay.
You think the blue team, the Blue Stars, would swing the ball a little bit, being down.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And again, surprised to see Nathan Temple still not out there. In fact, I can't locate him on the bench. Oh, I see him now. He doesn't look like there's any problems with him, so we'll see. It's dangerous to leave a hot quarterback on the bench for that long, as we're joined in the booth by the one, the only Montel Allen.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing?
And Montel joining us in the booth, obviously putting together this game. What are some of the things you're seeing down there on the sideline right now, Montel?
Well, right now we changed the flow for the second half, so this half they could blitz.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all go. So the timing is off right now a little bit, by the quarterbacks. So obviously we're punting more special teams, but hopefully it picks up.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we get into this punt, we don't need much commentary on the game right now. Tell us a little bit more about the history of this game in general. Brag about yourself. You guys don't get to brag enough. You and Ruben stay under the radar. Tell us about how impressive it is to put this game together.
We like staying under the radar. I mean, we like to be considered the underdog all-star game and give other kids shines that really deserve the opportunity to play at the next level.
And tell us some more about some of these colleges out here that people haven't heard about. I've heard of Lake Erie has been out here, McPherson, some of these colleges. You've gotten a lot of kids offers. Talk more about the colleges out here.
Yeah, we mostly focus on kids that want to go play Division II, NAIA, Division III, because that's where we have a lot of talent at that level at. We have the grades on the West Coast, and there's not a lot of there's actually no Division II schools except for Azusa Pacific. So we have to be able to bring our product of football to them. And this is the best opportunity to do this, to stream it live with coaches that can't get here. And the coaches that come here, like from Minnesota, from Western New Mexico, from Colorado, they show us a lot of love to come here to make sure they get to see the kids, get the transcripts, be able to size them up with the eyeball test, and hopefully recruit them right out of this game.
Well, and a lot of what you do is certainly targeted towards these D2 sort of last chance kids, and because I've had a lot of kids who are these on the verge of being D1 prospects asking, oh, Chase, why haven't I gotten an invite to the SDFNL game? And I have to tell them, because they're not going to invite you because you're not their target. They're not what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is get these kids who otherwise might not be able to go to college a chance to go to college.
Yeah, and we don't turn those guys down either. I mean, we try to get as much kids as possible, but those kids like to play in the Spanos game and the Makasi Bowl and other games. And they just cater to a different audience than we do.
Absolutely.
We cater to an audience, the kind of kids that really want to focus on just getting any opportunity, and not just the right opportunity, just any opportunity for them to get a chance to play football for the next 4 years.
Absolutely. As James Duncan is slinging it outside to Leviticus Thorpe. Leviticus Thorpe was a late entry, wasn't on any of the other rosters, just appeared on the field. Talk about Leviticus Thorpe and sort of what his journey has been through this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player from Lincoln, really, really athletic. I don't think he got to purely showcase his talent because all that talent is on Lincoln's squad.
Absolutely.
So this is a prime game for him to be able to get in there and show that he got a little wiggle to himself and he can break away some tackles and walk away with something to show that he's a good athlete.
And now speaking of Lincoln and some of these schools that sort of have flown under the radar in recent years up until now. Oh, as Duncan has to fall on the fumble. But we talked earlier about a lot of Lincoln kids in this game. You see a lot of Mira Mesa kids. A lot of these schools that haven't had great programs but are now making a reemergence. Has that been something that's been good for San Diego football, in your opinion?
I think it's great. I mean, I think those schools that kind of historically haven't been as good as they should, or people as good as they think they should be, it's a process. You got to understand. Football's been down. The things we were going through with the soccer guys and people and the concussion things, and parents don't want their kids to play football in these areas. It's kind of hard to kind of build that program back up. I mean, we got to think like schools like San Diego High School had the one amazing year, and then now they got to rebuild back up because you just have a different influx of freshmen coming in to play the game. But I think now football's starting to gain momentum again. People starting to feel comfortable with it. And now you see schools like Mira Mesa and people want to go to Lincoln and people want to go to these other schools and play. Look at Scripps Ranch. They were 0-10 a couple years, and now they went all the way. So it's just a matter of those kids you get in and be able to keep them to stick and not go to these other sports and be able to play football and everything that comes with it, hitting the weight room and all that other good stuff.
Absolutely. It's 3rd and 12. The ball pops out, and it's fallen on by the Blue Stars. That's going to be a great momentum shifter, as that is number 84. That would be – oh, is that 84? Who is that?
From the kid from, I think, from Otai Wrench. 84, no, 64.
Oh, 64. That's Michael Fonseca.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. How about that? We were just talking about how he's my favorite position combination, O-line punter.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, fun times.
He is. He's actually a really good punter. People are surprised to be an O-line.
Oh, absolutely,
he's a really good punter, yeah. Yeah, man, we just really trying to, like I said, showcase kids that normally not too, they're a big cog in the team, but they're not the star, and people don't talk about them that much.
And I think one of the prime examples of that is who we have at quarterback right now, Chris Davila, who's been overshown, thrown deep. Oh, Gilpin slowed down for some reason. Maybe lost the ball in the sun. The sun is certainly pointing that direction possibly, but yep, and he's blaming the sun. Yep, there we go. But he slowed down. He obviously could not see that ball until it was on top of him. But what a good throw. Great read by Davila, who we were just talking about. Was a starter on last year's team, had a very decent season, and one of those guys you'd expect to come back. But then Tyler Jensen transfers in from San Marcos, and this game gives Davila another chance to show off his stuff.
Yeah, and you got to understand someone like in Chris' situation, you got to quarterback, it's all about, confidence in yourself, being in a situation where you're kind of the leadership and all that. He was a leader his junior year, and then all of a sudden you got demoted coming into your senior year. You got to understand what kind of confidence, what kind of mindset the young man has to be in to kind of be able to stick that on out. And now come here, and now this drive you see he's getting a little bit of rhythm and getting a little bit more confidence. It'll start picking up, and I hope Chris is able to do that at the next level. I see him more as a Division III prospect, and then it's actually gonna take some patience on the quarterback coach at that next level. But I think he has all the tools to be able to be a read option guy. He's obviously a leader in the classroom with a very, very high GPA.
Obviously, yes.
He's come from the program with a lot of speed, so I don't think the speed of the game will be too fast for him at all, at least with his weapons. I just think he has to feel like get in the system that he's comfortable with. Let's remember somebody like Alex Smith, when he was playing in the NFL, they thought he was a bust all his years because of everything, and then when he finally got his confidence and he clicked, he was an all-pro. This kid reminds me a little bit of like that in that type of situation.
Well, I can certainly get on board with an Alex Smith comparison any day of the week as a Helix alum. But I want to talk about a guy that caught that swing pass earlier on. Brooke Desta from Sarah has a teammate who might have been here were he not in the elite All-American game, Kyle Simpson. And that Sarah team certainly does a good job of just pumping out solid athletes and solid players year in and year out.
Yeah, you get in developing. I think the lost art of high school football has now been developing these players, and it's hard. It's very hard. You got to deal with so many different dynamics coming through with not only schoolwork, but these kids' background, their socioeconomic background, these kids, athleticism, kids transferring in and out, and so on and so on. You got to be able to build a program instead of just a team. And I think Drew Smith over there has done a great job over Sarah to be able to build a nice program for Sarah.
Absolutely. You think about some of the top programs in the county, Helix, Cathedral, all programs who have done a great job of building program prestige and developing kids from the freshman level all the way up through the ranks. And so for a lot of schools, when you look at some of these schools who have a good freshman team and then they don't pan out 2 or 3 years down the road, you know that they failed at developing those kids. When you look at Helix this year, one of the better freshman teams in the county. When you look at Cathedral this year, one of the better freshman teams in the county. Those programs, you know that those kids are going to be good coming into their junior, senior year.
Yeah, and I think there's a different expectation at those schools. You got to think of some of the schools in the South Bay and everything. Some freshmen have to start. They have to step up now and go varsity. Well, those schools are privy to be able to have guys.
Christian Salacup coming off of the blitz. He said Masato Thompson can do it. I can do it too. And Youngman takes a shot. Blindside. Christian Salacup has done wonders for his stock today.
Yes, he has. Very good kid from Christian. All-around baller. He's a straight baller. A little undersized kid, but he's going to be able to make it be a tough player somewhere.
Absolutely.
But back what we're talking about as far as developing players, it's really hard to get developing players. Like I said, when most of these teams are expecting guys to come in and play as freshmen, to start as freshmen.
Yep.
In some places where Helix and Cathedral and Saints and Modern Day, they have the privilege to let their kids develop and play at their lower levels and get better and better and understand the program.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's also so fun about this game is the coaching staffs that we get to put together here. We got AJ Vines and we've got George Jackson facing off against each other. Two very great stories. Obviously, George Jackson playing professionally a little bit, which is fun with the Arizona Cardinals, I believe.
I believe so, but George has been a good all-around personality for the community. I mean, he's a stake mark in San Diego high school football.
Yep.
So when he had called to ask the coach, it was a privilege.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Coached at Lincoln before, coached at Southwestern, and then on the other side you've got almost the opposite. With George Jackson being sort of a legacy guy, you've got AJ Vines, the young upstart coach who just took over for Mission Bay after a very unfortunate start to the season.
Exactly, and you know what? He's the primary kind of coach that's trying to build a program. So he wanted to be involved in this all-star game and then be involved in certain other things to kind of make sure things just kind of go the right way and be almost like his mentor George, be that stalemate in the community.
Absolutely.
And get to know a lot of these kids in their senior year and everything. So it's exciting, man. I mean,
And there's the flag. There we go.
Oh.
Masato Thompson did not even catch the ball and got laid into. But I mean, that's the tenacity that a lot of these players are coming with. You can't fault Matt Malone from Escondido on that play where he's just trying to show some effort, show that he's going for it. He's waving it off. He doesn't care. He knows that he showed the coaches that he can target a punt returner and get down the field.
I mean, unfortunately, it's bad that he caused a penalty, but I mean,
Obviously.
he's hungry. I like to see the hunger. I mean, you can't fault the kid for effort and being hungry.
And as long as he's not hurting anybody, I'm okay with that kind of penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And as long as it's not done maliciously trying to hurt somebody or anything like that.
Exactly.
He's just trying to show a little bit of extra effort to make a play.
Yeah.
So
And I think we can rule out anybody trying to hurt anybody in this All-Star game. I don't think anybody's coming in with that visceral of an attitude.
Not at all. We kind of set the tone earlier. This is not that kind of game. This is a game to more showcase your talent, not to show who's got the bigger ego or anything like that, or try to prove yourself who's the tougher guy. We want to see your skill set.
And don't these two teams come together for most of the week? Like, do they not? They practice at the same location, correct?
Yeah.
So they all know each other.
We practice together, break bread together, come together, and stretch together, and all that stuff in the beginning of the game. Because
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's overall San Diego football, and we're family.
And that's what I know you, Top Dog, Ruben, a lot of people in San Diego are all about. You see a lot of these divisive people on Twitter trying to sort of tear down other programs, but to me that's ridiculous because at the end of the day, once we all, as the neutral zone infraction goes off on Cathedral's Jake Cassidy, who had a very impressive sack earlier, but at the end of the day, once all the CIF games are over and once everything is done and we all head to state, we're all rooting for the same teams, the ones that are representing us at state.
Yeah. I mean, we are Dago football, period. I kind of tweet that always on my thing. We're Dago football. You know, even though we compete against each other, we cheer for each other too at the end of the day, and we want success for each other. I think that's really an important model to kind of follow because we always want to see the next man be successful. Like, we want to see Chris Olave be successful tonight. We want to make sure he hopefully has the great game regardless of even if he plays.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's the other trick. It's the same trick play again. And Jordan Wilkins is down the field. Oh.
They have enough on it. Not enough on it.
Oh, and that was throwing that pass was Ryan Ortiz, who is a offensive lineman.
No, actually, it was from El Cap. Erickson.
Oh.
Erickson from El Cap to it.
Oh, you're right. Oh, 82, not 62. Yeah. My apologies. But at the same time, you love to see tight end motions because when a tight end goes in motion, it really throws the defense off. You're not expecting that ever.
Well, you better be looking for somebody to come block you with bad intentions. Usually when tight end goes in motion, so try to get a trick play in there, try to get something going. I'm sure they're trying to stir something up on the blue squad. The offense has been pretty stagnant right now.
Oh, and here comes Stein going up the middle. If he can just
first down.
There we go. He breaks a few. Anything more you want to plug about this game before we get Adam back on the mic?
I think we just continue to support San Diego football. I'm glad the people that came out. I'm appreciative of the crowd and the kids that are playing in it, and the colleges that came out and that are watching this stream live. I mean, this is what we do it for. We're just all about, man, being self-contained, self-content, and being very modest and very humble in what we do, and just hopefully we turn out a successful product and helping some of these kids.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us up in the booth. We'll let you go back down to the field, Montel. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
For sure. And we've got laundry on the field, folks. We have another penalty here as we are going to be rejoined by Adam Paul in just a short second. Adam, thoughts on what you've just seen transpire in the time we've had Montel in the booth?
Well, I'll tell you what, hard hitting here, very competitive, blood flowing, juices flowing, competitiveness going on by both squads. Obviously, we had a penalty flag thrown here. Just an all-out competitive game so far.
And that's what you love to see in these games. Like, everybody here is trying to compete for offering a scholarship. Nobody here is taking this lying down. And, out there once again now we see Nathan Temple. Here we go. It's game time, folks. Oh, and we have another stoppage in play. What is that one? Oh, the ball was not yet in play.
Okay.
Early snap. And, I mean, some people are just too ready to play football sometimes, Adam. Too ready to play football. Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that exists. You can never be too ready to play football. So Nathan Temple running back out with a play call. One of the impact players so far for this game has been, once again, we've called his name quite a few times, Luke Simonek. from Santana. He's lined up at that nose position right there. We'll see if he can get back to Temple once again. Some more Santana on Santana violence. In the meantime, we see Temple getting dropped. Oh! Oh! Absolutely crushed. Coming off the edge is Tristan Schaefer from Point Loma. That's a wide receiver, DB right there.
Yeah, he just brutalized Temple on that sack.
Oh, my gosh. You hate to see it, but you love to see it, you know?
Yeah.
An interesting fact about Tristan Schaefer, he led San Diego in interceptions last season with 16, and he is 7th all-time in CIF for interceptions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Is that not? And you'd think he'd have more offers.
I'd have to go look that one up. Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Uh-huh. Which is funny because all of those interceptions happened in one season. He got those all in 2018 as a junior. Pretty impressive, especially with J.L. Skinner over there at Point Loma.
Mm-hmm.
Dropping back to passes. Temple, he steps into the pocket. He's going to take off, and he gets tackled in a combination of Simonek as well as Patterson, as whose name we've called quite a few times today. Now it will be 3rd and, I believe, 8 on this one.
Yeah, about 3rd and 8. Temple kind of didn't have anywhere to go on that one.
Not at all.
Receivers were all covered, and so he just basically had to scramble for his life on that one.
Yeah, and as the sun comes back out, it's going to be hard to throw balls down the field because it's going to be harder to track here. So you got to think that if I don't know that I would have snapped that ball. There were about 2 seconds left. You can wait. Oh, and a dot fired down the field, and it's almost picked off by Josh Buchanan. He's from Bonita Vista, transferred to BV from Helix, and is the grandson of Willie Buchanan, 1972 Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Former SDSU Hall of Famer, great.
Mm-hmm. And San Diego Charger as well.
Almost, in fact, that was almost picked off and then almost caught by Brooke Desta of Sarah High.
Yeah, absolutely. As we were talking about earlier, his teammate Kyle Simpson playing in the Elite Raw All-American game earlier today.
He's a stud.
Kyle Simpson.
In the CIF championship game, Nathan Temple was sacked 10 times in one game. I had not seen him get sacked 10 times all season long.
Ridiculous.
Sarah, they just hit him hard, and they avenged their earlier season loss to Santana by a score of 33-7 to win that Division IV CIF championship, which by the way was the first in Sarah's school's history, and also first obviously for Coach Drew Smith.
Impressive season out of Sarah, and for Nathan Temple as well, impressive season. He had 34 passing touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns, coming just 10 short of the mark that he promised to Ramon Scott of 50, and our own Adam Paul. But more impressive of his stat line, 5 interceptions on the season.
Yeah, he had a really great season. I know he's got a few offers there sitting on the table. We'll see how that works after this.
Here we go. He's taking off up the middle, and he's not going to get it. This Blue Stars offense has nothing doing so far.
Oh, I thought they called a fumble on that.
Nah.
The way they were pointing.
Oh, that's a turnover on downs because that was 4th, which is an odd down to take off up the middle on 4th and 8. You'd think that you just cut your losses and sling one down the field.
Yeah, but, with the way that they were covering the receivers, thought he had a chance, and he almost did get it. It was a couple yards short. That's the thing with Temple. He has such a strong arm, and plus he is mobile and can run a little bit. So that does whoever picks him up here afterward at the college level is going to have a really good quarterback on their hands.
Oh, absolutely. And you got to think the blue team is a little bit infuriated by the sun disappearing beyond the clouds as soon as they turn Fields no longer in the red squad's eyes.
Yeah, the pass was intended for Tristan Schaefer.
Oh, yep, very impressive, man. That pass intended for Jake Ventimiglia from Mount Carmel, whose name we've only had to say once before. Bless the Lord for that. That is a very complicated name, as they have out there at Mount Carmel so often. But now we've got Leviticus Thorpe out wide to the right. We've got Ventimiglia inside him. We've got Rashad Griffin going outside wide to the left. That's a very, very dangerous core, as well as Josiah King. He looks his own on the inside, which tells me this might be a run. I don't know if they're going to drop back to pass, but Josiah King drops back in a pass block through Rashad Griffin's hands. Now, Josiah King very under the radar as a tight end because he's not a pass-catching tight end like the modern sort of tight end seems to be. Now, I played with him, and I can tell you why he's a blocking tight end. I'm just kidding, Josiah. If you're watching this back, you're a fine pass catcher. But he was not last season. He was not. But his main strength is blocking. Nobody can get by that kid when he is on the line. He is absolutely an asset to this O-line right here. Basically, an extra right tackle. Oh, here we go. Oh, and it's picked off by Christian Salikup. And he's going down the right sideline. He's got Green in front of him. And he's going out of bounds. We got Laundry on the field, but that was after the interception. Oh, man. And we've got Laundry. We'll see what the explanation for this penalty is. It certainly won't be going back to the red squad because it was during the run back. But once again, Christian Salikup, one of the names we've heard a lot. If the blue team ends up coming back and winning this, he's certainly a candidate for MVP.
Absolutely. You know, he's had a heck of an all-star game so far, both on the offense and the defensive side of the ball.
So this penalty seems to have been some sort of clipping, holding penalty, so we're going to take it back a few. However, it will remain in the hands of the blue squad.
Good crowd out here at Mira Mesa High.
Absolutely.
Cheering on both the blue and the red all-stars. Again, the winner of this game has been invited by Oakland to play in the Battle of California. They played a couple years ago.
I believe that game ended in a brawl.
Yeah.
Yep. Which, I mean, shows the competitive nature of these all-star games, you know.
Yes.
And going outside, oh, yeah, Brooke Desta. Brooke Desta, he's staying on his feet. He's dragging a man, and he gets it down to the 42-yard line. Now, I was going to say before that play, back in at the safety positions for the red squad, you've got two very underrated players. At free safety, you've got Tony Candelaria from Hilltop, and at strong safety, you have Helix's Owen Usini. Both players who didn't get as many looks as they should have. Owen because he played at Helix with such an elite squad, and Hilltop just because Hilltop gets overlooked as a team. But, and that's a fumble. Davila just loses the ball. And we'll find out whose ball it is.
Wow.
When they clear the scrum. It looks like it's probably blue team's ball. Red doesn't look too excited here. Yep, and it's going to be blue team's ball. Fallen on by Michael Fonseca, who's really doing it all today. Blocking, punting, kicking, everything. But that is just a miscue that the Blue Stars cannot deal with right now from Davila, and that's going to hurt them.
Yeah, Davila, you know, he took the snap, went back to throw, and it just kind of butterfingered out of his hand. Nathan Temple back into the game now for the Blue All-Stars.
There we go. And they're going to hand it off. And that's going to go to the Sam Pasquale running back, Mark Santar. Not much yardage on it, though. And the Blue Stars are going to be struggling to convert this third down.
Yeah, Santar picked up about a yard on that the little short handoff from Temple. Blue Stars tried to see if the Red Stars were looking for pass on that play.
So we've got Jordan Wilkins at the slot right there. That's going to be somebody to watch there. Nathan Temple not looking his way. He's looking over across the middle to Anthony Gilpin, who does not get it. Pass broken up by Owen Usini. Usini and Candelaria swarming the deep coverage there.
Yeah, Temple's lucky that ball was not intercepted there on that play because that was ripe for the picking. Just batted it down.
Absolutely, and I had the privilege of playing with Ursini as well, and those aren't balls that he usually drops, so Temple very fortunate on that, and they're going to be going for it on 4th and 9 here. Let's see if it happens.
Yeah, there's about 11:14, 11:15 left to go in the game here.
This is the call that Clay Helton should have made last night, in my opinion. Obviously a job to preserve. However, sometimes you got to go for the win, and A.J. Vine knows that. So we're going to see a 4th down and 9 here. Nathan Temple dropping back. He's going to look down. Oh! Crushed off the outside by Owen Ursini. Hard-hitting strong safety.
Yeah.
Getting involved with the DB sack action that Mosato Thompson and Christian Zalikup were involved in earlier.
Yeah, it came in off the right side on our side, and Temple's left side, and just blitzed the heck out of him, and was able to bring him down for the turnover on downs.
And you really hate to see it, as the Blue squad has been given opportunities to get back into this one, and they have not capitalized on them. So James Duncan's going to come back out there, and he is being flanked by Troy Williams, but the ball goes to number 32 for the Red Stars. That is Caleb Berry, somebody we have not been hearing a lot about today, but he's out of Kearney. Didn't get a lot of chances to show his stuff. Nico Estrada playing over him up at Kearney a lot, and that's because Nico Estrada happens to be very good at football. But Caleb Berry, very slept on, very good player.
Yeah, he's a little shifty runner there for the Comets. Like you said, Estrada with the majority of the carries and yardage there for the Comets this year.
But Berry put together a nice season himself with 323 rushing yards. And Duncan almost pulls off the acrobatic throw to Berry, but just can't get it out there. Now, what's interesting to me is everybody else is wearing their usual helmets with different decals. However, Berry from Kearney is rocking a yellow helmet that looks like it might be from Mira Mesa.
Yeah.
So my question is, did Mira Mesa loan that to him for this game? Did he forget? Did he leave his helmet at home? These are the answers we need to get at him.
Yeah, it is interesting because, like I said, he's wearing a yellow helmet, while the other players are wearing their usual helmets with different decals on them.
Huh. And that's one of the things I liked most about this game is I played in the Spanos All-Star Classic. I say play loosely. I place held in the Spanos Classic last year, but my favorite part about it was pregame, everybody in our locker room just trading decals. I got myself some of those nice Francis Parker mini stickers, and I got myself an Eastlake decal on the side of my helmet. I was rocking with the Scotty, the Eastlake E, and a few P stickers across my helmet, and that's all I wanted to customize. But you see some of these guys come out, and they've got stickers on the front of their helmet, the back of their helmet, the side of their helmet, just on their left thigh, everything. Everything under the sun you can think of. As James Duncan comes back out, flanked by Troy Williams and Caleb Berry. Again, Jackson coming out with this two-back set. Williams offset, sending Berry out wide, coming back in motion, looking like a sweep. And no, it's going to be held by Duncan and thrown. Oh! Two things happening on that throw. First, Masato Thompson just missing out on the pick. And then second, James Johnson from Granite Hills with just barely losing focus enough to drop that ball. And that play could have been all sorts of exciting, but it results in just a 4th down.
Yeah, lucky it was not picked off by Masato Thompson of San Pasquale. Like you said, Johnson of Granite Hills almost came up with the catch as the ball went through Thompson's hands. So it could have gone either way, either bad or exciting. Let's see here. The Red All-Stars looks like they're going to punt the ball away once again to the Blue All-Stars. Hopefully this time the Blue All-Stars, with little over 10 minutes to go in this game, they need to get something going here on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, what is a fake? And Rashad Griffin's going to take it. Oh, and he just gets stuffed by the Blue Stars. Some nice trickery broken out there by George Jackson and whoever his special teams coordinator is over there. But with the very nice stop is Cameron Sanderlin from Grossmont.
Yeah, Masato Thompson also in on that tackle.
As well as number 50, Connor Battaglia from Scripps Ranch. That's a very much of a who's who of a pileup right there. Sanderlin, Thompson, and Battaglia, all three pretty decently big names. Some names that you'd be shocked to see not have an offer come towards the end of this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Masato Thompson currently holding 0 offers. Connor Battaglia at this moment currently holding offers from Laverne and McPherson, and Diego Sanchez from Olympian with no offers, but Cameron Sanderlin no offers as well.
Which is surprising because he had a pretty good year for the Foothillers this
Absolutely. Now Nathan Temple running that Santana empty. He's got time to throw. He's going to go deep with it, and a miscommunication as number 26, Matt Malone for Escondido, almost chased that one down. Gilpin was supposed to cut outside, turn his corner into a post, and did not let them know. Folks, in the other game that is currently happening right now at this time, the less important one, LSU is up on Oklahoma 49-14 at the half. So for those of you that took the 13.5-point spread on LSU, you're pretty happy right now. But regardless, that's the less important game today. Let's get back to what's really important about today, as Nathan Temple is in an empty backfield once again, where he thrives with Randy Smith out to his left, not looking that way. He's going to look over the middle. He's going to start to run. He's going to throw to Anthony Gilpin, and Gilpin cuts back. He's got it wide open. It's a touchdown. Anthony Gilpin Jr. Touchdown Blue Stars, and they're right back in this game. Excellent pocket movement by Nathan Temple.
Love that Temple to Gilpin connection there.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, could you imagine if Nathan Temple played at Olympian or Anthony Gilpin played at Santana?
Well, along with Randy Smith and Nathan Hughes, that would have been awesome.
We missed out. We missed out, man. And that is the second passing touchdown today by Nathan Temple. Certainly making a showing today, doing what he does best, which is throw touchdowns.
Are they going to go for 2?
I would be going for 2 regardless. Even if I didn't have the OL punter kicker, I would be going for 2.
The man who does everything.
Yes, I would actually probably hand this ball off to Michael Fonseca if we're being honest here. But they're going to run that heavy, then they're going to give it off to Dylan Quinn here. Dylan Quinn's going to look to pass. He's got him wide open, and it's knocked away by Rashad Griffin Jr. A fantastic defensive play. And if Quinn gets a little bit more mustard on that ball, Ryan Ortiz and Mira Mesa is open in that end zone. They went for the big man touchdown.
For those of us just joining us, your score with just under 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter is Red All-Stars 17, Blue All-Stars 12.
Whew. Oh, man. Now, this has certainly been the year of digital media, I think, as an emergence for San Diego football. We've seen a lot of players go viral. We saw Tyler Buckner, his truck against El Camino in the end zone go viral. Josiah King had a flop against Cajon where he sold a offsides penalty that went viral. Just a lot of overall just digital media being put on by San Diego this year, which is good because San Diego football is honestly slept on, Adam. I think we don't get the credit we deserve.
Yeah, obviously you have the big players moving on to the big schools, the Pac-12s, the Big 12s, the Big 10s. You have Chris Olave doing really well for Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he continues that tonight in their semifinal playoff game against Clemson. You have Keenan Christian up at USC.
Who should have gotten more touches last night.
Yeah.
Oh, an onside kick. Oh, and it's just not going to. I think it went negative yardage, Adam. It went negative 1 yard.
He kicked it, the ball bounced, and it went backwards. That was very impressive.
And a heads-up play by Josiah King, who I saw streaking for the ball,
Yeah.
couldn't get there, but knew that he could just pick that up and take it to the house. That's a heads-up play. Couldn't make it, but if you're the Blue Stars, do you even mind that they don't know, that they know that the onside kick is coming, or do you think you're doing it again?
Obviously they'll probably do it again.
Got to double down.
Yeah.
9:53 left to go, and you're down by 5. I think you take the shot. Maybe it bounces around here. They're probably discussing whether or not this onside kick is warranted because obviously onside kicks, for the most part, not allowed in this game. However, 5-yard penalty, and they're going to re-kick here. So that's the third out-of-bounds kick we've seen today from the Blue Squad.
Yeah, I kick this deep and take my chances with the defense.
Absolutely.
If it were me.
Well, I mean, they haven't allowed a score from the red team all quarter, and all half, in fact, on a that's about a 17-minute scoring drought for the red team right now. So we'll see. Well, Chris Davila, obviously not a kicker by trade, a quarterback. So when you say kick it deep, that's a relative term there, Adam. Deep being the operative word in that sentence as we have a delay. And here we go. And I think he's going to give it off deep. Oh, and he hits a little squib. And Rashad Griffin takes it. And Masato Thompson is there to meet him, but he doesn't go down. Masato Thompson recovers, makes the tackle with, I believe, Nate Stein. Yes. So Masato Thompson getting involved everywhere in this game.
Yeah, Thompson stymied Rashad Griffin, giving Nathan Stein of Christian High a chance to bring down Rashad Griffin Jr. To keep the Red All-Stars from gaining any yards on that. Ball comes out to about the 31-yard line, so about a yard or so on that return by Griffin.
Absolutely, and we've got James Duncan once again. They've decided on James Duncan as their clutch quarterback here today. So I assume when you hit regardless of whether it's an all-star game, once you hit the 10-minute mark in the fourth quarter of a close game, you got to think that whoever your quarterback is, you're sticking with him. So he's going to hit Rashad Griffin Jr. and get about 1 yard on a sticky hands type of catch right there from Griffin Jr. You wouldn't expect him to make that catch every single time. So that's impressive.
Yeah, the thing about that also was that it keeps the clock running as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's certainly what George Jackson wants to do right now.
Yeah, he was brought down by, I believe, Ron Van.
Mm-hmm. Very impressive season.
I'm sorry,
Xavier Brown from Montgomery, yeah. Oh, and Brooks Desta coming in on the outside, and he gets to dunk it. He's going to bring him down. A big sack for the Blue Stars defense right now. And you were talking about trusting that defense. They are certainly trustworthy. The Red Squad not being able to do anything today on the second half today.
Yeah, the pocket broke down for the Red All-Stars, and Blue was able to swarm in with the extra defenders and, bring down it and make it 3rd and 10 for the Red All-Stars.
So now you got to think, you're looking at Rashad Griffin Jr. out wide on the right. You got to be thinking that they're looking for him on this one right now. So we're going to see. That's not where Duncan's looking. Duncan's looking across the middle, and he's got it. Ron Van with a huge play here to keep the drive going, and he has been so impressive this year.
Wow. That was a very impressive catch by Ron Van in traffic to give the Red All-Stars a crucial first down into Blue All-Star territory.
And now James Duncan going to be coasting off of the inertia of that pass throw. Oh, I thought I saw a bit of a hold right there. Oh, I thought I saw number 5, Dylan Quinn, get held, and he did, but he recovers and still makes the sack.
Yeah.
Now they credited Peterson with the tackle on that, but honestly, it was Dylan Quinn who got to James Duncan and sort of started dragging him down. Not a sack, but simply gets him for a 1-yard gain. So that's a good start for this little 1st and 10 right here for the defense. As they're playing loose coverage, and James Duncan's going to let it go. He's going deep. Oh, and Salacup had a chance to turn this thing around once again as Greg Tate wraps him up, tells him it's okay, but he doesn't think it's okay. But honestly, it's almost okay. He still makes a stop. It's a great deflection, and it's going to be 3rd and long once again for this Red Stars. He's got to watch out for Ron Van on this one as well.
Yeah, Blue All-Stars have to make the stop here. This is a crucial possession with about 7.5 minutes to go here in the game for the Red All-Stars.
Absolutely. As James Duncan is going to be back once again. He's looking deep. He's throwing deep. It's going to Ron Van again, and it's too long of a throw. Being rushed there in the backfield by number 55, Diego Sanchez of Olympian.
Yeah, he got into the, excuse me, got into the eyes of Duncan there of Classical Academy. You know, not a lot of time there, so it's made Duncan basically throw it away.
Absolutely, and Jorge Aguilar coming out for what feels like his 18th punt of this game. As this Blue Stars team has certainly caused a lot of havoc for this Red Stars offense in the second half. And honestly, in the first half as well, there was only one offensive touchdown by the Red Stars today. Another almost high snap. An agile play by Jorge Aguilar to get out of the way of the punt block.
I thought he was going to run it.
Look at that great awareness. And he's getting props on that sideline, and deservedly so.
Yeah, when he avoided the Blue All-Star defender, I thought he had.
Yeah, he
room
had daylight to the left. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. So that's going to be big for the Red Stars. That's a 40-yard difference right there in field position. So this is certainly going to be interesting right here.
Yeah, about 7 minutes to go here in the game. Red leads the Blue squad 17-12. Blues got the ball on about the 8-yard line here. So about 92 yards to go. About 7 minutes. We'll see what happens.
And now that's Xavier Brown up the middle, loses his footing, gets 3 yards anyway, but you got to think he wanted more on that. Nathan Temple is going to be the fourth quarter quarterback, I assume, now for the remainder of this game for the Blue Stars, and deservedly so. He has had a phenomenal game here today.
Yeah, now we got the 10-yard line here. See what Temple does.
So we got Nate Stein in the backfield now as Xavier Brown's come off the field, and it's going to go to Stein, and Stein's going to be stifled at the about 1 yard after the line of scrimmage. So we're going to have a 3rd and 6 here for the Blue squad. I don't know about that play call there. I thought I would have gone to the air on that one.
Yeah, you're down by 5, and you got about 90-something yards to go. 90 yards to go. I know the Red All-Stars are looking for a pass, but you got to do something. Stein got about a yard on that carry, so it'll be 3rd and about 7 to go.
Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, that's a very valuable yard at this juncture of the game, but you really want to be looking for more than that right now as he's going to drop back to pass. Temple getting chased. He rolls out. He throws across the field. And it's almost picked off, deflected away from his own player as Candelaria and Usini both are too good at tracking the ball on that play.
Yeah, that was a heck of a defensive play there by the Red All-Star defender to break up that pass. Almost picked it off. So it's obviously going to bring up 4th down now for the Blue All-Stars. Another offensive opportunity gone to waste for the Blue.
And so back deep to receive is going to be Leviticus Thorpe, and punting is going to be actually Mark Santar of San Pasqual here.
Yeah, about 5.5 to go here in the game, folks. 17-12, Red leads the Blue squad. The Red squad's about ready to get the ball back here.
And that's a good punt by Santar. Getting down there, Leviticus Thorpe's going to receive it. He's going to take it for about 1 or 2 yards of a return before being brought down by Sidell Gregory of Mission Bay. And Sidell Gregory is a player that doesn't get enough credit for what he does. Mission Bay had a very fantastic season on the backs of Sidell Gregory, Clash Osborne, and Evan Agwan. And I don't think any of them get the credit they deserve. Clash Osborne certainly going to be a factor as a sophomore quarterback going into the future. Evan Agwan not getting the credit he deserves, and Sidell Gregory certainly overlooked.
Yeah, they did really well. Cinderella story after, unfortunate circumstances. Coach Vines here is coaching today's game, took over.
Oh, and it's going to be a double reverse here, and Van's going to take it to the outside, and he's got room to run. breaks the tackle and gets hammered by Christian Salacup for a loss. A lot of running for 1 yard loss.
Yeah, you're right. That was a lot of dancing and running for a 1 yard loss. He's lucky he didn't get hit harder and ball popped out, because Salacup really gave him a licking there.
Rashad Griffin Jr. out to the right. He's going to be accompanied by Jake Ventimiglia of Mount Carmel. And James Duncan back there, ready to throw. Motions Josiah King of Helix. And gets hammered. Throws it to Josiah King. And it's picked up by Chanel Gregory. He's got it at the 40. He's at the 50. Crossing midfield to the 40. To the 30. The 20. The 10. He's going to be met by James Duncan. He gets away. Touchdown! Pick 6, Chanel Gregory. He gets it. And the blue squad is back in the lead. How about that?
Wow. What a crazy turn of events there.
Wow, just an overthrow by Duncan as he gets hammered. And it's just picked off by Chanel Gregory. He takes it the distance. No laundry on the field. What a turn for the blue squad, who is now back in control of this game. Party in the end zone indeed, fellas.
For an 80-plus yard INT pick 6.
And as I was just saying, Sadell Gregory, criminally overlooked as a defensive back. One of the more impactful players for Mission Bay, and now one of the most impactful players for the Blue Squad. And if the Blue Squad pulls this one off, he's got a chance to win MVP on the back of that play alone. That is impressive effort from Sadell Gregory. And you got to imagine the Mission Bay coaching staff is really pumped up after that one. As Greg Tate, the DB's coach over there, extremely happy. AJ Vines, extremely pumped. You got to think Keith Harris even giving him a little love. So now, looks like they're going to go for 2. Unless I'm mistaken. Nope, they're going into the heavy. They're going into the heavy. And back there, at the back of the heavy formation is going to be Cameron Sanderlin, who we saw get a good chunk of yardage last time. So they're just going to let him run around the end. And he looks like he's going to have it. He's got it. Oh, wait, he fumbled it. Did he get across? They call it the fumble. They call it a fumble. He did not get it.
Nope.
Unfortunate turn of events. And Vines is not happy about that one. He is on the field absolutely perturbed.
Nah, he didn't get in. He was just short.
No, I don't think so either. I think you're correct.
He was just short of the goal line, and they called a touchback.
Man.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't converted. Your score right now, the Blue Squad off that pick 6 with 4:18 left to go in the contest, lead the Red Squad 18-17.
Wow, what an exciting turn of events here. Now you got to be careful. You can't give this ball to Rashad Griffin on the kickoff. You can't let him burn you. Ron Van is a dangerous man, but I'd argue you'd be more in. You're putting yourself in more danger if you give it to Rashad Griffin, and you can hear the noise from these Blue Squad fans. It's getting loud in here, folks.
This is a really competitive game today by both squads, back and forth. I mean, it's 18-17 with about 4 minutes to go in this contest. There hasn't been many offensive touchdowns scored.
As we're waiting for the kickoff to occur, we got Chris Davila kicking off, back deep, Rashad Griffin and Ron Van. As I've already stated, I would not take my chances with Rashad Griffin. To be fair, I wouldn't take it with Ron Van either. We may be seeing another squib kick. I don't think we'll see an onside kick. I think we can rule that out of the equation, Adam.
Yeah.
Yep, it's another squib, and it's going to Griffin. Griffin is smart to just let it go out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
And he's going to give himself Vines arguing that it hit his wrist. I don't think he's going to get that protest, though.
Nah, it looked like it went out of bounds just by a couple inches.
Yep. So we're going to have another re-kick. That is the 4th kick out of bounds today, which is a total of 20 yards lost in field possession for the Blue Squad. Which is why, honestly, in this game, I think as good of a job as Montel and Ruben do, and nothing against them, but I think they need to do a better job of recruiting kickers for these games, because there are better kickers than this in San Diego, Adam. These are not the top kickers in San Diego. And there are a lot of kickers in San Diego that could be getting D3, D2 looks that need to be in this game. And that's the only mark I'd think I'd have against this one. Oh, and Davina's going to kick it deep, if you can call it that. Oh, and Van's taking it to the outside. Oh! And he avoids a tackle by just throwing Diego Sanchez over him.
Yeah. About 10, 15-yard return there by Van. Marlo Jenkins on the tackle. Marlo Jenkins of Crawford with the tackle there on Ron Van of Bonita Vista. Red All-Stars start off now at the 45-yard line, looking to retake the lead after the blue team retook the lead on a pick 6.
And I believe that's Trevor Youngman after the Duncan interception, handing it off to Troy Williams. So you got to think maybe Jackson's going to call some read option here late in this game.
Yeah, Trevor Youngman of the San Pasqual Golden Eagles had a pretty good season. Led them to a 9-2 record, one of the top seeds in their division.
And Youngman's going to throw it outside. Oh, and an easy flag. An easy flag to throw there on Brooke Desta, bowling over Ron Van before the ball even got there. So as this penalty is called, we'd like to once again thank Montel Allen and Ruben Pena for putting on this event. A great event for a lot of kids in San Diego. And we'd also like to thank TVX for broadcasting this game live to you, the masses. We'd like to thank you, the masses, for tuning in and listening to me and Adam Paul's antics. And that's going to be a tough penalty for the Blue Squad to swallow and recover from, because you got to keep in mind, with that failed 2-point conversion, they did not get that insurance that they needed, and a field goal here would still put them down in a deficit with 3.5 left to go. Youngman flanked once again by Troy Williams and Rashad Griffin Jr. Going deep, and it's up there, and picked up. Nate Stein might have just, oh no, Brooke Desta might have just clinched this one for the Blue Squad. He's still going, and I'd say that's about a wrap on this one.
Yes,
that may be an announcer jinx, but
just a little over 3 minutes to go in this game. Not quite. If the Blue All Stars can pick up a first down or two, then I would say yes. Then probably yes. More than likely, it's over.
So let's see. I don't think this ball is going to go in the air, so I'd expect to see either Nate Stein or Xavier Brown out there, or maybe even the heavy. You never know. Honestly, if I'm Vines, I'm calling the heavy right now, and I'm just going to let Cameron Sanderlin bully his way to 5 yards every play.
Yeah, you want to keep the ball in bounds. Obviously, not throw it away. Keep that clock running. We have a timeout called here.
And as we have a timeout called by the Blue Squad, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back on TVX Sports. these teams come trotting back onto the field, and we're going to see if the blue squad can put a wrap on this contest here. We're back on TVX. And Chris Davila and Xavier Brown in the backfield for the blue squad is what they've decided on after that timeout. So we're going to see if this is going to pay off, this decision. Jordan Wilkins is going out there late, some confusion, going out to the right side. And they're going to run it with Xavier Brown, and he just gets eaten up in the backfield. And that is Cathedral Catholic's Jake Cassidy once again. And as me and Brandon were talking about earlier, anytime you see that U or that Don's logo coming at you, you got to be fearful for your life.
Yeah, no, Jake Cassidy, obviously a key player on the defense for the Dons this year, who unfortunately lost in the semis of the Open Division to Carlsbad.
Some might say not unfortunately, but
well, got it.
Got to give the Dons credit where credit is due. They put together a great program, and it's going out. Oh! A crucial drop by Sean Dixon out of El Cap. He doesn't miss many like those. That's the reason he's here, but those late game jitters stops the clock with 2:24 left to play. 1 point lead for the blue squad. And at this moment, they do not have a reliable punter to switch the field for them right now.
I actually don't mind that call because the Red All-Stars were looking for the run, and a little pass out there to Dixon. If you would have caught that,
oh, for sure,
would have been able to get some yardage because he had some green in front of him.
Not a bad play call at all. Just a terrible miscue.
Yeah.
For the blue squad. And Davila is going to throw out wide. Oh, and it's picked up. Rashad Griffin Jr. No, is that Makai Shaw? Makai Shaw, a name we have not called all that much today. The other stud out of Scripps Ranch. And he gets involved in the action here. He has offers from Laverne, Western Colorado, and Redlands for a reason, Adam.
Yeah, that was a poorly thrown pass.
Oh, terribly thrown.
Underthrown.
And a poor read by Chris Davila as well.
Yeah, not sure where he was throwing that to. It was like I said, it was a poorly thrown pass, underthrown, and that was.
And this secondary is not set up yet. This secondary is still scrambling to get in position, and it's going to be a run to Troy Williams. He's going to take it to the left side, and he's going to get it down with 2:15 left to go. You got to think the red team is feeling fairly confident right now on the leg of Jorge Aguilar if they can't get it in the end zone.
Yeah, they picked up 8 yards here on that. Moved the ball closer into field possible game-winning field goal territory.
Absolutely, and they're running that no-huddle offense. And the blue squad's going to call a timeout because they cannot get number 50. Oh, these kids with their crop top uniforms can't even see it. Number 59. Number 59, Malaulu. Michael Malaulu on the roster. It has it flipped. So my apologies to the Malaulu family. But man, as we call timeout here, you got to think that the red squad has drawn up something that's just going to keep the clock running and give them a chance to just end this one right here and now instead of giving the blue squad a chance back at the end of the game here.
As we got some parents down here saying, "Let's go red, yes."
Here we go.
See if the Blue All-Stars can come up big on the defensive side of the ball. Again, it's 18-17 with about just under 2 minutes here left to go in the 2019 SDFNL All-Star game.
And this one will be a thrilling finish no matter what happens as James Duncan is back there. And he hands it to Rashad Griffin. He's taking it up the middle. And he gets the first down around the 21-yard line. Now currently this will be a 38-yard chip shot for Jorge Aguilar, who has an impressive leg that can make this. But they're going to hurry up. They're looking to get this in the end zone as the clock is at 1:43 and counting. 1:40. James Duncan takes the snap, hands it off. No, he takes it himself to the outside. makes a man miss, Dylan Quinn, and runs out of bounds to stop the clock. Losing yardage, which is not what you want in field goal position.
Yeah, not really sure what they were calling there. I mean, obviously a quarterback keeper, but I'm not sure why you would call that, especially since you need yardage, to move into possible game-winning field goal territory. Now you've went back a couple yards. Actually, you've lost about 3 yards on that, out to the 25-yard line.
Absolutely, as James Duncan hands it off to Troy Williams, who stumbles and falls. And everything is falling apart here for the Red Stars, as they are just not advancing the ball like they were.
Yeah, Troy Williams obviously got about a yard on that. They spotted it out at the 24-yard line. It brings up a big third down now for the Red All-Stars. Currently, it would be a 41-yard field goal if they were not to gain anything else.
Which is not a guarantee at this point, at this level of football. As we have another timeout called, we'll take you guys to break to consider the rest of this game. We are TVX. And we are back after the timeout. And you got to think the blue squad has drawn something up to ensure that this fourth down is going to happen with 56 seconds left, folks. Every play, every step, every breath that a player makes on this field right now has an impact on the outcome of this game. As it's handed off to Rashad Griffin, who's going to go? And he's taking it to the outside. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Rashad Griffin Jr.
Wow, 24-yard touchdown as the Red Squad just comes out on the field. Wow.
Celebrating on the blue sideline towards the fans. And Rashad Griffin Jr. knows what he just did.
Wow.
And the blue squad dejected.
No kidding. Took the handoff and he found his way to the house. From 24 yards out.
And that is that should be your SDFNL All-Star Game MVP right there.
Well, there's still 47 seconds left to go.
We'll see. The announcer jinx has worked once. So let's see if they get this extra point to go, because that will be big in determining whether or not the Blue Stars are going to win or tie this game. And the timeout called by the Red Stars.
Wow.
Crazy run, crazy athletic ability by Rashad Griffin Jr. And, I mean, he was brought up swimming, playing lacrosse, playing basically any sport you can think of. And that's the reason he's at Scripps Ranch, is because of the lacrosse team. And not to mention that, he's just so fun to watch play. He's so fun to interact with. And he's such a fun personality and kid to be around. You could see the joy he had in that celebration. He currently only holds one offer from Southwest Minnesota State University.
Yeah, I only saw them play once this year against West Hills in that playoff game. Coach Gardinera did a really great job this year. Obviously, as you know, a couple years ago they were 0-10, as it was mentioned by Montel Allen.
And we're gonna go for a 2-point conversion here. That's an interesting call from the Red Stars. And James Duncan's going to take it in the shotgun. Troy Williams to his left. And out left is Rashad Griffin Jr., the man who just scored that touchdown. Out to his right is Ron Van. So some very dangerous players out on this field right now. We're going to see if James Duncan of Classical Academy can get it done, representing his Caymans out there. And he throws it. Oh, no, he's going to roll out left. He's bearing the throw. He goes up for it and throws an interception. And that can't be returned under high school rules, but Diego Sanchez wanted to take that one back.
We got a flag. That'd be out
Now,
of play.
what's the laundry here? What's the laundry here?
This could be crucial. Let's see what happens here.
Because that's on the red squad.
Yeah.
That can give some good field position to the blue team.
See what the call is here by the officials.
And Diego Sanchez still disappointed he cannot run this back. As the PA announcer here tells Sanchez over the PA that he might want to keep running just to be sure. However, we're fairly certain up here in the booth. Oh, we're going to get a personal foul on the blue squad.
Yeah, personal foul face mask on the Blue All-Stars.
Oh, boy. So that's going to have its effect on the kickoff here. And that's a costly mistake for the blue squad here.
Yeah, I mean, see if they assess this on the kickoff or whatnot. Let's see what happens here.
Now, the worst case scenario for the blue team here is obviously that they let them replay the conversion. So, yes, the referee once again calling a personal foul. We got that. Thank you, sir. 47 seconds to go. One timeout left for the blue squad. We're going to see if they can get it done here late. We've got some delay on the field. And they're going to be kicking the ball off from the 45. So basically, the blue squad's going to start off with the ball on the 40-yard line, is what we're hearing. And on the 20-yard line is what we're hearing. Basically a touchback, almost guaranteed.
Don't forget, they really have more than one timeout because you remember the high school rules. The clock stops on every first down.
That's true until you get lined up. You're correct.
So see how that goes into effect here with 47 seconds left.
And now Jorge Aguilar are going to be back to kick. The 5-point lead here. And that's a touchback, yep. Oh, almost made the field goal. Would have been 3 points under my football rules.
Well,
here we go.
80 yards to go, 47 seconds left. You got one timeout left. If you put Nathan Temple out there, he has an arm.
Well, I mean, if any quarterback that is in this game can make this drive, it is Nathan Temple.
Yeah, see what here.
And Nathan Temple going to line up with the empty backfield as they do so often at Santana.
Yeah.
And he's dropping back. Oh, and he's just going to get hit. Oh, he loses the ball. That might be it. Oh, they're flashing second down, so it's going to be Blue Stars ball. The clock is still running. The clock should still be running, but it is stagnant at 37.
Big sack by Lincoln's Alonzo Morgan coming off the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Second down now. That's the last timeout now, I believe, called by the Blue All-Stars.
Yep, absolutely is.
37 seconds left.
So now we're going to see if the Blue All-Stars have what it takes to not pull off a 2-minute drill, not pull off a 1-minute drill, but to pull off a half-minute drill.
I'll tell you what, that's the difference. I know Nathan Temple, he's a good quarterback, but playing Santana, you don't see the big guys.
No.
Like Morgan from Lincoln, with such speed, and the competition obviously is quite different.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
As you saw, he bull rushed and brought down Temple like a bag of sugar.
It's a Christmas ham.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So now Nathan Temple's going to go back to that empty backfield. And at this juncture of the game, after that last play, I'm not sure if I'd have an empty backfield. I might put a blocking running back in there at this point to pick up any blitz.
Yeah. Let's see what the call is here.
So now we're going to have out wide Randy Smith You'd think that you'd see Anthony Gilpin Jr. somewhere in here, but he is not. And Temple's going to take off, and he's going out there, and he's going to run. He's going to get out of bounds. Very odd that you're not seeing Anthony Gilpin Jr. out there, and that's because he is currently on the trainer's bench down there under the tent. That is not what you want at this point in the game. That's your most dynamic player on the sidelines. So now they're going to have to rely on Randy Smith and Jordan Wilkins as their two big deep play threats. You also have Shane Latois as a tall man down there, but he hasn't had the greatest game so far, so we'll see. Shouts of "come on Nathan" coming from the stands as these fans are very into it, folks. This game is not just any regular bland all-star game. This is a competitive match right here. These are players playing for their futures. Once again, whoever ends up winning this game will go up to Oakland and face the Bay Area All-Star team. And you can hear the noise emanating from the crowd right now as they look to get this stop. As Nathan Temple is getting rushed. He stopped him in the pocket. He's got to let it go. He does. He lets it go deep. Nathan Stein is back there. And it's knocked away by Makai Shaw. A combination of Makai Shaw and Tony Candelaria back there making a crucial pass breakup with 23 seconds left in this game.
Well, this is it. Brings up fourth down now for the Blue All-Stars. It is do or die, as Mr. Lawrence, the PA announcer, just said.
Absolutely. So we're going to see if Nathan Temple can bust out one of those throws like he did at the end of the first half against Sarah in the CIF All-Star game, and in the CIF Championship game, excuse me. And hopefully this one doesn't get called off like that one. Now he's going to go over the middle. Oh, and just overthrows number 26, Marlo Jenkins, and that's going to put an end to this one, folks.
Yep, all they have to do now is just kneel down, victory formation.
18 seconds left, and they're just going to call the game. I don't believe, are they going to knee it? What are we doing here? All right, so they're going to jog the offense out there for one last kneel down. They will give them the satisfaction of a victory formation. We thank Brandon Stone, Montel Allen, and Adam Paul for joining me up in the booth today on color commentary. I've been Chase Osborne doing your play-by-play. And so as we exit this broadcast, an outstanding game by the SDFNL Red Squad. And we haven't yet heard who the official MVP of this game is. But honestly, for me, up in the booth, it's going to be Rashad Griffin Jr. Rashad Griffin Jr. put the work in today and just did such a fantastic job carrying this team to a victory as the Red Stars will take the victory 23-18. Now, one last time, just a reminder that the Red Squad will be going up and facing the Oakland All-Star team as the celebration begins for the Red Stars. And Rashad Griffin justifiably pumped up. We thank you for joining this broadcast, folks. I've been Chase Osborne on your play-by-play. Go follow my Twitter at @TheChaseOsborne. And I'll see you guys around. Thank you for tuning in.